if I do?
Covino and Rich.
Are you ready? Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Turn on that on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. Doing the show. Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Something about them.
Hey. You know the album, the 1996 classic Beck Orale?
Of course
Where
they do.
it's at? And all those classic Beck songs. He named it Orale because he thought it was Orale. Orale.
Órale!
Yeah, but he named it Orale. I know this because I'm on lithium this week, so I'm doing lots of research.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of known that. Welcome to the show, sports, entertainment, life. I'm sorry, goblins, ghouls, gardening, and gizmos. That's what we talk about now. Rocking out. Woo! No longer sports, entertainment, and life. We're switching it up to fit with the times. Goblins. Goblins.
Why goblins? That makes no sense.
Like nerds, like goblins and ghouls and things like that, and like wizards.
Oh,
Like, yeah. Goblins, gardening, and gadgets.
Goblins.
Yeah.
goblins.
That's
the new
what you
show.
think we talk about. Goblins.
That's what you think.
Well, because the real Triple G I want to talk about, no one wants to hear about. But the fight's on. The trilogy's back. He's fighting Canelo. It's official. But I don't want to talk about that.
Goblins.
So I'll
Triple
focus
G,
focus on gardening and goblins and gizmos.
Triple G, the one you want to talk about,
Goblins.
is getting what he wants, right? Because Canelo had the opportunity for a rematch, but he's opting to fight
I'll save
Triple G.
Save it for September 17th when the fight will happen.
Can't wait.
Save it. Anyway, thank you guys. So it's no longer sports, entertainment, and life by popular demand. It's bunnies.
Now, it's goblins.
What's the second one? Goblins, ghouls, and
Gardening.
gardening.
I forget. I actually rebranded it this morning.
Goblins.
Thanks for telling us.
And now I forget what I actually rebranded it as. Because our motto or mantra or tagline is sports, entertainment, and life. And people are like, you talk too much sports. It's like, well, it's sports, entertainment, and life. But we don't even get into the nitty gritty X's and O's and intricacies of sports at all.
Worry about like what three people say.
It's goblins.
It's not. And I'm not worrying. I mean, these
Gardening-
are the people that subscribe.
I got it. Gardening, or goblins, gardening, and grumpies.
Oh, that's a good one.
Grumpies.
Grumpies.
So Jim
speaking of-
Ramsey said, yeah, literally,
Grumpy.
it's sports, entertainment, and life. So actually, I was thinking about doing something different and making it the fan-controlled nerd show. What do you think?
Oh, like fan control football?
Yeah, like you tell us what you want us to talk about, and we talk about it. It's a whole new concept I'm thinking about. Maybe for my own project if you're not like involved.
I don't think I'm interested.
Fan-controlled nerd show. Tell us what you want. We'll discuss it. Like fan-controlled football. I'm going to call it TFCNS, the fan-controlled nerd show.
Didn't we move the sports to the front though? Because of other things?
Well, we were trying to
Appease people?
No, we were trying to evolve the show to fit the new criterion at SiriusXM.
Right.
Yeah, but
Which
that was
no
part
longer,
of the
which
evolution
no longer
of
exist.
Yeah.
So it's technically, it could be whatever the fuck you want it to be.
well, that's
Could
why
be,
I
it
said
could be gardening, goblins, and ghouls.
You don't even have to, lead
Gizmos.
with sports.
I'm not. It's what I'm into. You know what I'm more into? I'm more into Triple G the boxer than Triple G meaning gardening, ghouls, and gadgets.
No.
Speak for yourself.
Grumpies.
And grumpies. Yeah. So either way, thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for your subscription.
Is that trial still going on?
Grumpy.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
In fact,
yeah. I mean, people are glued to it. And
Like, it seems like
Amber Heard's, what's it called?
team,
Her team.
legal
but-
team.
So they are not going to put Johnny Depp on the stand again. So that's the
Grumpy.
update there.
Johnny Depp is a star that
Grumpy.
got his reputation back in the court of public opinion, at least. Who knows what's going to happen with the outcome of the trial?
I mean, there's still a lot of people saying that they're Team Amber Heard, but
Who?
I mean, celebrity.
I'm
people.
reading articles everywhere saying that.
Because the truth is, we don't know the intricacies of their relationship. We don't know if you want to be real about it. You
Not
don't
at all,
know how mentally abusive the guy could have been and vice versa, back and forth. They were probably terrible for each other.
I think they're both bad, but
Yeah.
what you're saying, I have not seen one place, and I've been keeping my eye on this. Every narrative is,
I mean, look
Johnny
at the
Depp got his fans
Kathy
back.
Griffins of the world. The Kathy Griffins. I mean, not everybody's like, yo. I mean, the general public and most normal people.
You would say the overwhelming.
The overwhelming, not denying that.
Okay, that was my
But
point.
the truth is, you really don't know. He
Well-
could be a piece of garbage himself.
Right.
And we all know that he's not the
They're
greatest,
both strange.
easiest guy to deal with, right?
They're both strange. My point was, and I think you agree with me, but you just wanted to not agree with me for a second, was that the overwhelming consensus was this trial started, and a lot of people are like, fuck Johnny Depp. And I
You said
now think
everybody.
most people.
I'm saying it's not everybody.
Well, I don't
It's
know
most
anyone.
people.
I go on social media and everyone's posting funny things, making fun of Amber Heard and Duty and turds and Amber Turd and
Yeah, but there's still people
Grumpy.
who, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying not everybody, but most people. You know,
Well,
I agree. Kathy Griffin.
Johnny Depp got his reputation back, which is, I think, what he wanted. So even if he doesn't win whatever money he's trying to get from Amber Heard, he got his reputation back. And I think that when you look at all the social media clips, and that's how we're really learning about this, they are all, maybe Johnny Depp hired a social media team and said, hey, in the public eye, let's all spin it my way, because that's what it is. In fact, I read something this morning that there are hundreds of people in line to get in to watch Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in this trial. Hundreds of people. Like, more people
Where's the trial taking place?
more people are in line to watch this than the actual Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney. Like, it's like a spectacle.
I mean, people are glued to it. You know, when I come home, I hear it. Jordan's listening to the whole trial from start to finish.
By the way, when you're on the ride, that's not a brown fish.
Oh, grumpy.
It's a grumpy.
Well, you know what? Can I shift gears? Speaking of grumpies,
Grumpy.
I read this morning.
Gears,
Sorry,
gadgets,
did you say you were
grumpies,
shifting gears?
and goblins.
Yeah.
And gardening.
Grumpy.
I saw this morning when I was reading random headlines and stories. My nightmare neighbor, listen to the story. My quote, nightmare neighbor smeared dog poo on my front door as a moving out gift. A mom claims that her neighbor smeared dog shit on her front door as a bitter goodbye. Courtney Cobb and her boyfriend, Jay Chapman, 23, say that a neighbor vandalized their door, a claim that the neighbor denies. The couple moved into a flat in the area in the early part of 2021, no problems. Then they would have problems very soon after, and it had to do with smoking and blasting music.
Loogies off the balcony.
They became particularly concerned about the heavy smoke after the birth of their baby 4 months ago. And now they moved out and left dog shit on their door. And I ask you this.
Grumpy.
You've said this before. You said you fantasized about leaving K-Rock back in the day and pulling down your pants and taking a shit on the boss's desk.
I fantasize about that now with my other employer, too, to be honest. I still fantasize about that.
Has anyone
Am I
actually...
going to find poo on my desk in the morning?
No.
Has anyone actually... Like, you've heard there's probably a rumor out there somewhere like, yeah, do you hear this guy in Wisconsin won the lottery and he shit on his boss's desk?
I've heard of these tales. There was a guy I worked for. He wore a hairpiece and everything. He's no longer with us.
Oh,
Yeah, I found out recently.
Oh,
that's sad.
Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't take a grumpy on his desk.
Are you?
He was the most ungrateful guy. And
Grumpy.
we would break our asses to make sure his clients were satisfied, and this guy was making all the big bucks.
he was making all the
based on-
monstrous commissions. Meanwhile,
based on the job we were doing.
You're hanging banners, giving out samples, going to events, driving around the tri-state area. Meanwhile, this guy's just cashing in the money.
This guy was probably making millions. I mean, he was making millions on sales gigs, but guys like me were hosting those sales gigs, making sure his clients were happy, and he was just mean to me and everybody. And it was like, oh, that's just Ebenezer being Ebenezer.
Yeah. The whole
he had an
Manny
old
being
guy
Manny
name.
thing is like a.
But I was like, this guy sucks,
Yeah.
man. And I can't wait. When I'm done with this job, I'll take a mean shit right on his desk. Of course, that was my fantasy. I would never do such a thing. But I did have a friend, and I've told this story before. I had a friend that hated Don Imus so much. I told you this.
No, I don't know if I know this one.
Yes, I
All right,
told
well,
you
tell
this.
me and
This
maybe
is
I'll
a true
remember.
story. My friend Jay, let's call him Jay.
Jay, who's Jay? I don't know. I don't know Jay.
But his name was Jay. His name still is Jay. My friend Jay hated Don Imus so much and was such a stern guy.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be in the studio. It's at a bookstore, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. I know the story.
He went to Barnes and Noble, and when Don Imus's book came out, he took the book into the bathroom, took a shit in the book, and put it back on the shelves. And of course, called up Howard or tried to get on the show to tell him about it. I'm not sure what happened after that, but he did it. Like, he really did do that.
That is
That's
How does
beyond
that-
me.
vile and
Yeah.
like that's just a low life move. I
How
don't
does that
care.
affect Don Imus? It affects the fucking poor sap that had to buy that book
Yeah,
and was like,
Don Imus sold the books to Barnes and
Hey.
Noble. The book distributor, they're gone.
In
Now
our
it's just-
defense, and in his defense,
Some 16-year-old
you could
girl.
attribute any
why
stupid
is she
move you
reading
make
books about
to,
Don Imus?
hey, I'm in my 20s, right? You do stupid things in your 20s. So that's his excuse, I'm sure. If
I'm
he
just
asked him today.
picturing. I'm just picturing some like high school girl that worked at the bookstore who was like, "Why is there a smell in aisle 7?" And she goes down there, the turd. Oh my god!
Oh my god. No, at Barnes and Noble, it's definitely an
Yeah.
oh my god.
Way to punish Barnes and Noble,
Oh my
not
God.
Imus. Oh my god!
But anyway, the whole feces revenge sort of thing, I'm way above that. Even though I think about it, like that would be perfect. Yeah, I want to do that.
that's
I would
a
never
shit.
really do that. I really am above that. I think people know that. I would never
So
do that.
I just thought you were talking about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
No.
There's another poop story in the news.
I mean,
Grumpy story. I'm sorry.
always a poop story in the news. In fact, the news in a whole is really just poop.
One big poop story.
Yeah, I mean, it's garbage. The news is terrible. The snooze. You want to get angry about life even more? You
Are
want
we
to fall
still,
asleep? Put the news on.
Is there still a conflict between Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah.
Yo,
Have we forgot about that?
I think they made their first
Or is Johnny Depp
arrest of some kid recently.
in the news?
What'd you say? Yeah, you were like, yo.
I said nothing.
You just said, yo.
No, but then you guys like continue your conversation about Ukraine
I
and the
stopped
news.
and that was like a millisecond ago.
Listen back later.
All right, Spot, can you pull that back up now? You could continue. I think you forgot what you were going to say.
No, I did not forget what I was going to say.
Bro, you said it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Are you serious?
I was.
What just happened?
Rich just said, yo. And, I finished saying what I was going to say, and I said, I looked over at him, go ahead. And he acted like he didn't have anything to say.
No, there was another poop story
Poop stories.
that I saw that it was one of those. No way has everyone not done this, and I'm like, yo, they gotta be trolling everyone. You know how like young kids listen to music from like 20 years ago? It's like, put a finger down if you know the song, and they do it just to make older people mad.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I've never heard these. And you're like, oh, damn it, how do you not know them? Like, they're doing it to make us mad.
All right, ready?
I saw,
You want to see the replay?
instant replay.
Instant replay.
Hold on. I have to.
On the Covino
what?
and
I
Rich
have to-
show.
I have to get the video up. Hang on.
Rich said yo as if he had something important to say. When I stopped, he acted like I was crazy. He had nothing to say.
Window capture.
Grumpy.
Hold on.
I must be
Maybe it's
dreaming
program.
things.
Well, while Spot's pulling up, I'll tell you what I was going to say.
Nah.
You got it?
Hang on.
Instant replay.
Replay. Rewind. You're not friggin' yo. Yeah?
Oh, no,
What?
let me pull it up. That's weird. All right. Keep talking. I can play the audio, but I can't.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
Play the
can't show
audio.
it. Okay. That's sorry.
Whole is really just poop.
One big poop story.
Yeah, I mean, it's garbage. The news is terrible. The snooze. You want to get angry about life even more? You
Are
want
we
to fall
still,
asleep? Put the news on.
Is there still a conflict between Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah.
Yo,
Have we forgot about that?
I think they made their first
Or is Johnny Depp
arrest of some kid recently
in the news?
So now I paused because
Yeah, but you're talking about some kid in the arrest, and then you're like, and
But how could you pretend like you weren't going to say something? I was finishing my sentence. Should I stop mid-sentence because you said yo? Then I stopped because clearly you had something to say.
Right, maybe we just- maybe it's
you
time to-
verbally raised your hand.
I need a vacation from you.
Dude,
You were just
am I
gone.
hearing things? That's how shit works.
All right, I guess starting
You raised
today
your
it works
hand-
that way.
You raised your
Yo.
hand essentially verbally in the middle of my sentence. Yo. So when I finish my sentence, I stop and you act as if I am crazy.
You guys okay?
This guy's
fine.
gaslighting me on the radio.
Yeah.
Damn it! Damn it!
You got some issues, bro.
Damn! I stopped and you played dumb like a fucking deer in headlights. I stopped my sentence to let you now say what you had to say, and you acted as if you forgot how to talk. That's me?
You guys okay?
Are
I
you
don't know what's wrong.
serious?
Something's wrong with you, bro.
Okay. All right.
I saw a meme where
Back to poop.
it said a guy,
Yes?
every guy has done this, and it's someone that like pooped in their hand in the shower.
Never done that.
And I was like, I've never. Has anyone done that?
I have fucking monsters do that.
Have you? But did you see that? It was like a viral thing where it's like everyone's done this once, right? And it's someone like
Again, that's another
shitting in their
troll.
hand in the shower and putting it in the toilet because they don't want to get out of the. They don't want to like get out of the shower.
Don't
What?
take the bait.
I was like,
You know what's interesting? I
it's like, who's done that?
Nobody.
I thought about
Monsters. Goblins and ghouls.
this. I thought about this. I've never done that in my life
Nobody.
at any point in my 41 years on this earth.
It's called a potato something.
No, that's when someone smushes it down the toilet.
No, that's
the
the
bathroom.
waffle
the
stomp.
waffle stomp.
That's a
I've-
waffle
but
stomp.
What's the potato then?
I'm thinking.
The potato toss or something like that. Blink.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking in my past, and I have been in the shower, soaped up, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I have to take a shit. So I get out of the shower and I sit down and I shit. What I don't understand
Did you see
is
the picture of the guy sitting on the toilet all soaped up
I
too?
posted that.
Yeah.
Well, let me pull it up. But what I don't realize now, realizing as I'm older, how long am I in the shower that I need to like stay soaked up, get out and take a shit, and then go back in? Why can't I just finish, sit down on the toilet, take a shit, and go on with my
I'll be
day?
honest. I've taken a shower moments after, been like, man, I got to take a shit, and then go back in for a 30-second rinse off. Like, all right, well, I can't be fresh and clean, take a shit, and then be like, I haven't even put my clothes on yet. I'm going back in the shower for 30 seconds. Just do a little
You have the cleanest shits I've ever created.
little arse sprinkle.
I call it the potato glunk. I made that up just now.
way,
Glunk, because it goes.
yeah.
You take a shit in your hand in the shower.
There's
you
Spot, by the
toss
way.
it into the toilet and it goes glunk.
This
Spot's been there.
Honestly, I've lived this life. I've done this as a kid. I used to do this because I'm like, I'm taking the shower. I must have taken like hour-long showers.
You ever sit on the toilet bowl and it is like a slippery toilet bowl because you're like you try to dry off a little bit, but you come out of the shower and you're like, oh.
I usually plan,
Slippery bowl action.
because like we always plan the maybe that's once you become an adult, you realize the order, the shit, shower, shave. Maybe when you're a kid, you don't understand that. So maybe as an adult, now we understand. Regardless of what you're doing, you're sitting on that bowl and taking a shit before you walk in the shower. That's what I do.
I told Spot the other day,
Right?
hey, you guys didn't want to hear about sports, so it's about shit then, I guess.
I mean, I guess this is the leading story of the day. I guess.
Grumpies.
Yeah.
By the way,
Let's
in
talk about
court,
the times you took a shit in your hand because you were in the shower and you tossed it into the ball.
the
Take your
lawyers.
phone calls at 412-267-7469.
Is there still a conflict between Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah. But then you went on.
I know. So when I stop,
But
I
you
say,
stopped in the middle of a sentence.
We forgot about.
no, that was
Yeah.
the end of my sentence.
Yo. You stopped in the middle of your sentence.
No,
Spot, play his sentence.
I stopped when I finished the sentence.
Yo.
We forgot about that.
I think they made their first
Or is Johnny Depp
arrest of some kid recently.
in the news?
That was it.
Recently.
That was all I had of the
Yeah.
story.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the rest
Yo.
of that story.
Anyway.
Yeah. They arrested
Yo.
some teen, a
Yo.
Russian teen who was following the fair practices of war.
I told Spot the other day. I said, "Has this happened to you at the gym or yoga or somewhere?" The worst is sometimes my softball games on the weekend. I love them when they're the earlier
What
the
conflict
better.
between Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah.
Yo,
That never happened. I dreamt that. The yo you're hearing right there was a yo that I heard in my brain.
All right, continue. I'm sorry.
I love earlier the better for softball for me. Like if the games were, I wish they were at 8 a.m. because I love that they're early and I could like do it, be active, have fun. It's not too hot out yet. And then if it's a 9 a.m. game, by 10:30, I'm like, I already felt active. I had fun and it's only 10:30. But the only problem with those early games is I told Spot, like, sometimes I get to the softball field.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I get to the softball field. I'm like, oh. And then you gotta like take a shit in like the public park bathroom.
I'm sorry, man. That rarely happens to me.
No, but I'm saying, like, what are you supposed to do?
Yo.
I told Spot. Spot's like, I've been there.
I don't know. I've had to take.
Where you have to go, where you're out and about and you're like, all right, coffee, morning, 8, 9 a.m. If you didn't take a poop before then, you're like, it's going to hit me. It's going to hit me. And then you get to the softball field and you're like, can I play for an hour and a half when I have to take a deuce?
I remember I was going, you know when this was?
Take a hike? Do you take a hike?
This was for, I remember specifically, this was for Nico's bachelor party weekend. Remember it was up in the Berkshires in Massachusetts?
I do remember that. Were you at Nico's bed? No, you weren't there. He was not.
What? Did you want to?
No, continue.
Did it spark a thought?
No.
But you said. And I remember
I was at Nico's party, yes.
We were going on
his bachelor party?
Oh, his bachelor party? No.
We were going on this long hike. Were you there, Rich?
Yeah.
For the hike?
Wait, where was his bachelor party?
In a cabin?
No.
In the middle of like nowhere. We built fires. There was like strippers that showed up and it was crazy.
No.
A weird night.
And we drove.
No. Anyone?
So we drove to this trailhead, and speaking, there was a turtle head in my ass, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get through this. I'm not going to be able to get through this hike. The only thing I could do, there was 2 disgusting porta potties in the parking lot, and I'm like, you guys walk ahead. This is going to take a minute. I went in a disgusting ass porta potty.
I'm not grossed out by that.
Like, when I go
as long as it's toilet paper, you could layer.
No,
you could do 2 layers of toilet paper over anything, and I feel comfortable. I'm not shy about that stuff. If it's a toilet, yeah, it's gonna be gross and it might smell. Fucking don't breathe and lay down some toilet paper.
There's nothing worse than when you go into a porta potty just to take a piss and you see a big mound of doo-doo pie.
Mauser, I'm reading the feedback. Mauser, I didn't think anyone would understand what I'm talking about. I agree with him. The public toilet at his old softball field was like mine. It's a prison toilet. There's no lid.
Yeah.
It's just a metal bowl.
I mean, it's like a park toilet. We've all seen them.
You have to like almost squat or sit on a fucking metal circle. It's disgusting. But what are you supposed to do? You're gonna play for an hour and a half like, oh.
Have you ever taken a prison shit? Give us a call. 412-267-7469.
You didn't want sports. This is what you got.
Prison shits. Let's go.
Can you hand me a pen, please?
Grumpy.
There you go.
Yo.
The porta potty splashback. Oh, you don't want Poseidon's kiss when that happens. Oh,
No,
man.
that should have another name.
Poseidon's diss.
Gabe Moreno brings up a good one. He goes, the nightmare time to have to drop a duke is at the beach because you could go in the ocean or you could feel comfortable running up to the little area and peeing, but the beach is like just not a comfortable area because it's always like a wet, shitty, sloppy toilet because everyone's feet are wet and it's gross.
I have legitimately considered taking a shit in the ocean. Like it's crossed my mind.
Spot, what are you doing out there?
Nothing. I've legitimately considered
just floating around,
swimming out far enough where I just.
Oh, I'll see. There you go. There's your shit talk.
Why are you talking shit all the time? The beach we go to has no facilities. So what do you do?
Shit in the ocean.
You have to shit in the ocean.
Shit in the ocean.
Either you go home or you shit in the ocean. Or you break into a house.
How'd we get here?
Would it be inappropriate to go up to someone like people because they have their patios that are out on the beach?
Yeah, but where you go to the beach,
houses.
are like millionaire, billionaire houses.
It's usually in front of Les Moonvez's house.
Hey, Les Moonves, can I take a shit?
I saw Julie Chen's sunbathing once.
Do
you think it would be wrong to go up and be like,
yeah.
Excuse me, hi. I'm sure you have beautiful facilities in this multi-million-dollar mansion.
Les Moonves a flaming bag of shit.
Can I take a shit in your house?
Yeah, that'd be great.
See?
Hey, it's an emergency. I'm so sorry. Now, how did we get here? Talking about the news. The news is weak. The only thing in the news that's not political is the Johnny Depp thing. Brought up Amber Turd. Started talking about shit.
Oh, I have a question that's
we forgot about
political.
that?
I think they made their...
I have a question that's sort of political,
Yo.
but not. And it's if Donald Trump is talking shit about Mike Pence, does that make Donald Trump look dumb because that was his choice? Or is it like when he's like, Mike Pence is like an anxious little, what he was shit talking Mike Pence, and I'm thinking to myself,
Tense Pence.
well, that was his choice for VP years ago. So could he, like, does it make him look stupid for trash talking someone he chose to be his vice president?
Tense Pence. He's just too end up. You could.
I mean, I really had no choices. So honestly, I didn't like anyone.
I didn't want him. They gave him to me.
Sometimes people don't execute the way you hope they will, right?
He's wound so tight, you could stick a lump of coal up
So
his
he could
ass,
be
and
saying-
in 2 weeks you'd have a diamond.
Without saying that he made a mistake with his choice.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that like, that's a very important, like, as far as you want your president to be a good decision maker? And what he was pretty much saying is like, yo, Mike Pence stinks. So like,
I agree.
that's like, well, one of the biggest decisions you made, you're admitting was like a not good one.
I think
He's
if
What do you say, Spot? Just look up the
backhandedly
exact
admitting
quote.
that he made
I
a bad
think if
choice.
you had a seance and channeled the ghost of John McCain, I think he would gladly admit that his greatest folly in life was not getting caught when he was at war, was choosing Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
I think he will. I think he would,
Maverick.
I think he would absolutely.
Well, he probably thought at the time, like,
Unequivocally.
he probably thought like quirky
I don't
woman
think it was-
VP.
it's-
I don't know.
You've seen House of Cards before Spacey got tagged and canceled.
Yeah.
You know the shit that goes on. It's all political moves. It's all created by the DNC and the RNC. There's no control.
Yeah, I bet you
They're just
he
giving
wasn't
it-
Donald Trump's first
Yes.
choice.
Yeah, but I'm
He
sorry.
was a good political choice.
A lot of people would say that it was probably like the good strategic move, and like he was probably pushed on him. Like, hey, you want the religious right? You want
Remember,
these people?
he wasn't a guy that came from a political background.
Tense Pence.
So that might have been the best choice at the time.
Like he
Not
could,
Donald
he could
Trump's
probably get
first
out. He
choice.
could probably trash talk Mike Pence and say, like, listen, if you want to know the truth, like, I never wanted him anyway, and we'd all believe it because, truthfully, you're right. He was the outsider, but never in history. That would be, imagine
Do it
any,
for Danny.
like imagine any president ever before just shitting on their VP.
Not to
Imagine if like Bill Clinton was like, Al Gore is a piece of shit. Like imagine anyone else. Like imagine if.
No, I feel like Bill and Al really got along.
Yeah, but I'm saying like George Bush and Ronald Reagan. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's an interesting thought.
Thanks for creating the internet so I can watch all my porn. You're a good guy.
Yeah.
Tense Pence is hilarious.
Tense Pence.
I agree. That is funny.
Tense Pence. But yeah, no, it's
I've
was just
lost
an
it. I've
interesting
lost it. I'm out of practice. Okay.
so
Tense Pence.
I don't know where you want to start today other than poops.
We usually start where we left off. And I hope you guys had a great Monday night. Hope you enjoyed whatever you do on Monday nights.
Come on, man.
Hope you enjoyed a nice walk
Yeah.
with the family.
It's like, I'm sure Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, acknowledges Kamala Harris.
Do you think he wanted her?
I don't think he wanted her at all.
No way. She shit on him during the primaries. If you
don't
remember,
think it
she was
was-
like,
it
she called him,
wasn't-
she pretty much called him an old racist. And then he's like, here's my VP because they told me to, you know?
man.
Come on, man.
Harris. Hey, you ever see the Major League Harris? He's my favorite character. Kamala Harris.
Yeah, he didn't want that. There's no question there.
Come on, man.
Plus, that's like a starting quarterback having a great like backup quarterback or like a quarterback the fans are going to like cheer to get in eventually. Like who's a good example of that, Rich?
Anytime Gardner Minshew's on the bench.
Exactly. Having Kamala Harris is like having Gardner Minshew there.
Yeah.
But who
Like,
wants her? She's fucking
But no one.
No, but the thinking before everything started to go to shit was like she's going to end up being the first black female president.
I never
You'll
liked
see.
her.
But that was sort of he didn't need those footsteps. He didn't want
I
that.
feel like I liked her for about a week.
She's full
And
of
then I
shit.
was like,
They're
then
all
she
full of
disappeared
shit.
after that.
yeah. No, I don't mean when she was, I mean like way back when during the primaries.
Know what
I was like, for a week, I'm like, this could be interesting. And then I'm like, no.
He's like Garoppolo and and Trey Lance is there.
Yeah. Like Pence, no one wanted Pence because Pence was so conservative that everyone's even said, like, you get rid of Donald Trump, you know what's coming? Pence, so you better watch it.
Yeah, but if you get rid of Trey Lance, you got handsome Jimmy G.
Yeah. Oh, sports analogies. Sorry, guys. Anyway.
Is this sports?
Nope.
Sure.
Hope you had a great Monday night.
Sure.
Hope you caught up on Better Call Saul. Whatever you watched, I missed it.
The mid-season finale.
I heard it was great.
Not mid at all.
I heard it was great. Yeah, I can't wait. So I'll probably watch that tonight. I missed it live.
I'm 2 behind. And, man, you ain't kidding when we talk about how, like, Bob Odenkirk.
Wasn't that the boy band that Covino was living with in the 10
Yeah,
years
2
ago?
behind, right?
2 behind?
No, it's 2B1.
Oh, okay, yeah.
2B1.
But he is so good.
He plays that shiesty lawyer, that character so perfectly.
But you know what? There was one line in episode 5 or 4 of season 6 that sort of sums up the whole thing. And you realize at that point, Jimmy McGill.
That's when he's talking to Hamlin, right? And he goes, "Who is Saul Goodman?"
Oh, no. That was a good line, too. I'm talking about when he's talking to.
Hello, Jimmy.
Is it Yule?
Hello, Jimmy.
Hello. Oh, you do a good Hamlin.
Can you imagine that guy? Like, all right, we have this lawyer, and he steps up and he's like, "Here's how I see the character."
He talks kind of like this. Hello, Jimmy.
I'm sort of a robot.
Hamlin from Hamlin McGill.
How are you feeling, Jimmy? You want to bring it on? Let's go.
Fake tan, blonde hair. Bring it.
You want to fight? You want to do this?
Slippin' Jimmy.
Oh, I know this guy.
Oh, Hamlin?
Hamlin McGill.
Man, he's casted perfectly as like handsome, douchey lawyer. Hamlin.
I know this guy. What was he in?
See?
But what's the line, Rich?
It was when he was. Who's the big black guy? Yule or Buell?
Huel.
What was this guy in?
Huel? Like
Huel.
This guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Jimmy.
This guy's been in stuff. I got to look it up.
Huel. So Huel says, "Yo, Jimmy. Yo, Saul. You're a lawyer, right?
Why you do this?
Well, your wife's a successful lawyer. Like, why are you doing this?" And at that point, you realize, like, yo, Jimmy McGill, Saul Goodman,
Makes choices.
he makes choices to want to be around the sleeves of society, the fucking cartel and everything. Like, there's Jimmy McGill, Saul Goodman, and Kim Wexler could be 2 lawyers working for firms, making a great amount of money just chilling, but he gets off. You realize that you can't change his stripes. He wants to be a sleazy lawyer.
Shady guy.
He wants to be shady.
A shady salesman who became a lawyer. So
Spot,
he
it's
became
the
a
truth.
shady
Rich,
lawyer.
Did you recognize this guy at all? Because I'm going to tell you what he was in that you would probably remember.
Tell
if
me,
you really
Spot.
thought about it.
Hamlin? Where do I know Hamlin from?
He was a professor in Saved by the Bell, the college years. And he had a pretty prominent role.
I watched that
talk like
series
that,
maybe
man?
once. I don't know.
Did he still talk that way?
Yeah.
No.
I remember he's been in a ton of like TV shows.
Guy talks like a robot.
I feel like I've seen him. Like the face is so familiar to me.
Slippin' Jimmy is
He's a shiesty guy.
he really is great at the way he handled without giving much away, like the whole Mesa Verde thing, everything about that show. You're like, yo, this guy is awesome, but he's a sleaze, and you can't
calculated schemester.
You can't take this like. It's almost like he has the opportunity to be like legit.
They've really developed a character where he thinks outside the box on how to manipulate the system and how to screw people over. That's the type of guy he is.
But then when he gets the chance,
shady
but
character.
when he gets the chance to be a legit straight lawyer, it's like subconsciously he has no
he's
interest.
sticking it to the man. He's
Yeah.
like, fuck that. Fuck you and your robotic voice.
He is just an expert of being a slime ball. Oh, I have one last question about
he's
Better
great
Call
at it.
Saul that you said that, last night was the mid-season finale. I'm going to catch up tonight like you.
So mid.
So not mid, apparently. Yo, Mike Ehrmantraut. Did they put makeup on his head to make him look like busted and tan and like crusty?
Freddy Krueger.
I think he's got
the
like
Freddy Krueger
Yeah, I think he's got like Freddy Krueger crust makeup because I don't remember when we met him.
He's got old guy spots on his head.
Oh no, I feel like he's
liver
got
spots.
Yeah, no, he's got extra crust.
happens
I
when
feel like
you're
they
old.
put makeup crust on him.
I got the old guy.
I got, hey, Kim Wexler, nice to meet you. Do I know you? I got, look at my head.
You work security.
He has, I think he has spots on his head.
Bro,
He's an old guy.
I
hope you
know,
have
but I
spots
mean, like,
there.
I think they put Freddy Krueger, like, scabbies on his head.
Nah, he's just old.
Yeah, he's just old.
No,
See?
Spot.
See the spots?
Yeah, but maybe I don't know. Maybe
See
the
it?
maybe the camera style. Let's post that picture.
No, why do that? Why promote anything?
See?
Yeah, I guess so.
You know.
Absolutely. It's right there, Spot. It really is. So, and that was how many years ago?
10 years
What do you
ago.
think happened to those?
6 years ago, 7 years ago, I think the show came out.
Was 2015.
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah, spots.
I got spots on my head.
Rich still had poofs.
He's great, man. There could be a spinoff on him. I think
looks
he's
a
that
little
great.
puffy.
Very puffy.
Michael McKean, legend.
Michael McKean.
You know who's super handsome
Oh, look.
in the straightest
Spot.
way possible?
Who?
Me.
The guy
I know.
that plays Lalo. I feel like he's like a handsome old Latino man. Who plays Lalo? Spot, look him up. Lalo. Lalo.
He's like
Lalo Salamanca.
Right.
He's
he's like
someone your
Look at
dad
those
probably
things.
hung out with in the
soap
70s.
opera handsome.
Look at that head.
Yeah.
Look at that full head shot.
Mike Ehrmantraut.
Yeah, he's got like spots all
You're right. You know,
over
maybe
his
he is spottier than I remember.
Oh, look at his neck. Go back. See?
Yeah. All right. I thought they may have done him up a little to make him look grittier because
getting
he's so
old.
gritty.
Called getting old.
He's fucking great. He's got scabies on the head.
Yeah,
Lalo- look at-
I think
Lalo
he
is
looks
like-
your typical like
If you had a sleazy uncle,
sleazy Hispanic character.
it was like, yo, Uncle Fabrizio's coming over for Easter. And you're like,
he's
Uncle Fabrizio.
He's like
Oh,
your
I know this guy.
yeah.
but Lalo,
He's the
is-
ladies'
oh.
man, sort of Miami Vice.
Tony
style of a
Dalton, is
hoop.
that who it is?
Yeah, he's great. Lalo's great.
This guy.
Oh, Lalo.
Lalo.
He rocks the mustache. I don't want to see. Is there a picture without the mustache? Because I feel like he fucking murders the mustache. He's a guy designed to have a mustache. Look at him, Spot. Even in the desert when he's all disheveled, he looks like all handsome. Like, oh, Lalo. Like I have a man crush on
I think you
Lalo.
do.
I mean, clearly.
Man, he looks very distinct. It's the gray. It's like the swoopy gray, salt and pepper kind of
I'm
hair.
starting to get a little swoopy gray right in the front of my pomp like that, and I told Sarah I have to start touching up. Like more and more are coming through.
I thought the guy that I saw him too, man. That guy that plays Tuco is really talented, and I happened to see him on social media. Young Hispanic actor. I think he's Hispanic.
Apparently, he looked very dashing in Hawkeye. A lot of people hitting us up saying that guy was Hawkeye. He was in the show Hawkeye. Look up Tony Dalton.
Tony Dalton.
Tony Dalton, Hawkeye, and then we'll move on, and I'll keep it in my pants. But I see him, and I'm like, yo, he is the definition of like. I feel like if my dad was hanging out in the 70s, and he was at like Studio 54, my dad would probably go, "Oh, this is my friend Fabrizio. He's very smooth with the ladies." I feel like this is the guy that
Rich, he brought you a rose.
I mean, he's. I feel like he's like
You're fooled by the mustache.
I think
he's just
you are.
he's a fucking smooth mosaka,
Is that
man.
fair, Farmiga? It
He
is.
looks like a soap opera guy to me. Like, you know, your stereotypical
Yeah.
ladies' man type of Latino guy.
Yeah.
But they're all great. And what I was, about to say was the guy that plays Tuco. It's like they're so great at playing these characters. They're so convincing. That's what really makes the show. Is it slow sometimes? Yes. But are the characters so convincingly great? Yes. When I went to his social media page, it said whatever the fuck his name is, and it says artist. Considers himself an artist. I'm like,
Oh,
but I'm so convinced he's some sort of drug thug. It doesn't even.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, he is an artist. Yeah, he brought that character
To life.
This guy's an artiste. But I think of him as some drug smuggling buffoon. So
Well,
it's crazy, man.
One
These guys
last
are great
note,
at what they do. They're great actors.
one last note on
They're more than that. They're artistes.
Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. There's a 99% chance if you scroll through your social media, you'll see one of your friends has a picture with Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul because they are pimping out their booze so hard. I've seen friends in I've seen friends in 4 different states. Like, look who I met, and they got their arm around Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston, my friend Jeanette helped launch his alcohol brand, which is pretty cool. In fact, I have a case of it of it in the front closet. What is it? Tres Migos?
I mean, I'll take a bottle.
I have one.
But they launched it. We saw them at
Dosum. Yeah.
no when we saw
Dos Amigos.
Los Pollos
Los Pollos.
yeah, Los
Hermanos.
Pollos Hermanos. Yeah.
It's mezcal. It's mezcal.
That's Mexicano
It's really
Hermanos.
good.
But we saw them at, remember me, Covino and Spot went to that Houdini mansion for the Super Bowl party. They were there promoting their booze, their tequila. So being that Breaking Bad is overlapping with Better Call Saul, I could promise you they were like perfect time to really pimp the shit out of our booze. So I feel like you go on social media, scroll down, one of your friends is like, yo, look who I met. Is it Dos Hombres? That would make sense.
That would make sense.
Yeah, like two buds. Yeah.
I speak in Spanish.
You know what? What I noticed about Better Call Saul, and it's all the buzz right now because, again, mid-season finale yesterday. People love to hate shit. People love to, Ozark's finale was weak. Game of Thrones finale was weak.
I thought Ozark's finale was good. My dad and I talked about it. We go, why is everyone so picky? What do they want?
People love to bitch and complain, right? And I'm sure it was just fine. But then again, you don't have the artistic freedom to make these decisions. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not your character. It's not your show. You know, make your own show. And you could develop your own plot.
Like, even on sentimental shows, like, there's people that,
oh, by the way,
This Is Us, we're saying, like,
I kept saying Tuco before. I meant Nacho.
Oh, that's what I thought you meant too. Yeah, Nacho. Nacho's great.
Tuco is
not in the show yet.
Is not in the show, but he was one of my favorite characters. He's also in Blood In, Blood Out. Tuco Salamanca. So I meant Nacho. My bad. The mid-season finale was yesterday, and people are like, "Whoa, that shit was dope." So if they were saying it was dope,
yeah,
it has to be good. I'm thinking
because everyone loves to hate.
But what I've noticed on Better Call Saul is there's always a show, right, where there's different plot lines going on, where you really don't care about this plot line. This plot line sucks. Let's get to the meat and the juice. This plot line.
I feel that way a lot when we watched Walking Dead. There was always something like.
I don't care about that.
All right, now we're going
back to that.
Who's the guy with the mullet?
You in the,
in the 90s? No, who was the guy with the mullet? Eugene. There'll be like a scene where it's like they kept going back to Eugene trying to like fix a walkie-talkie. You're like, I could get back to Rick or something. Yeah. Like,
with Better Call Saul,
yeah,
I love every storyline, whether it's Jimmy and Kim.
Yeah.
Whether it's Jimmy and Huel, whether it's Mike,
Gus and Mike,
Nacho, whether it's the Salamanca story, whether it's Lalo.
Yeah.
That's what's really cool about it. And again, is it slow?
Lalo.
Yes. But the characters are so good and they're so great at portraying and developing these characters with little intricacies about who they are and why they do what they do that you really are invested in. I don't care. I want to equally watch old ass, bald ass, decrepit Mike Ehrmantraut just as much as I want to watch Kim Wexler and Jimmy McGill. That's what's awesome about Better Call Saul. So enjoy that, catch up on it. We all fell off it for a minute.
I have a great
catch
question.
up and enjoy, man. It's really that good. And that's my observation and takeaways. Like, I like every storyline. I'm never mad at, why do they? I'm not mad. I watch and I enjoy.
Yeah, I am mad at it.
Can you think of one storyline from a popular show that you were like, let's move along? Like, I got one on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I know she was the one that stabbed the Ice King, but what was Arya, right? Is it Arya?
Yeah.
Yes,
Anytime they would go to Arya with like when she like lost her vision, and I was like, all right, come on, let's get back to like the Lannisters or Dinklage or something like that.
That's every show.
Yeah, there's always like one storyline.
Is there
where
a lull?
The faceless man.
Yeah, the faceless man. And to be honest, a lot of times when they would have,
I liked that story.
Who's the guy with the long hair? Not the Mountain. Who's the guy with the long hair that hung out with Arya?
Fabio.
Oh yeah, Fabio.
The faceless man or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was the faceless man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, when he and Arya would like walk through like the woods, I'm like, come on.
He was like,
come on.
A man does not whatever. One does not. Oh no, it was like one does not do this. One does not do that.
Kyle agrees with me. He goes, yeah, Arya's storylines always sort of sucked.
I liked Arya's storyline.
See, that might be the thing. Maybe everyone connects to something else, but
sure. But there's a lot of times where, like you said, every show has a plot line. You're like, secondary, couldn't care less.
You know.
But with Better Call Saul, man, I dig every separate plot line going on.
Yeah, there's a storyline that I mean, I know you don't watch the show, but it ended up like you don't dislike the characters, but for a while. There in This Is Us, there's a storyline with Deja, who's Sterling K. Brown's adopted daughter. Like, she has like this high school, like college love story. And every time they'd focus on Deja, I'd be like, Like, get back to Milo Ventimiglia. Get back to Mandy Moore. Get back to Randall. Who cares about his daughter and her high school boyfriend?
Based on this discussion,
It's like this
not
show.
only do I agree with you, but someone does like it.
It's like this
someone
show.
could be Spot.
It could be
when
Spot.
there's a Spot storyline.
Yeah, I mean,
Honestly,
but I feel with Better Call Saul, man, there's
Some
none of
people
that.
connect with it. Some people just want to hear you too.
you know what?
You should watch This Is Gus, the Greek version.
Is it when George Papadopoulos, when Papadopoulos,
When George Papadopoulos, when his storyline gets on, I'm all invested. When they talk about Gus, I'm way invested. When they start talking about Nick Papadopoulos, I'm like,
but what about when Nick? What about when Nick
But
and
the
Nick
show
open
overall's really good.
when Nick and Nick open the diner? Do you like that storyline?
That scene at the diner, that was great. That was so
And then there's
emotional.
when Konstantinos Papadopoulos,
Oh, yeah.
he works at the store and he's like, "Oh, you liking a juice?" That part was really great. This Is Gus, for the most part, is really good. The Greek version,
Yeah.
but when they focus on Nick, it's not as good. That's the weak
What about when
storyline.
Nico and Nick fight over who's got the better juice?
Yeah,
Who's got the better
that-
sauce?
That was
Yeah.
a good part, but This Is Gus. It's on the Greek channel.
All the plot lines in every show, I'm telling you, there's always one that you don't connect to. And it's a great point, Covino, we can move on from it, but it really is. Like, think of every great show.
Well, that
if
was
you're
my-
watching True Blood,
that
every
was my
time,
observation on-
I'll be
on
honest, for me, True Blood, the point that I checked out, when they would like go to like Merlot's and they'd be talking about like Lafayette and like the waitresses and stuff like that. I'm like, come on, fucking move along.
I loved Lafayette.
It's a funny character,
Spot
but
likes the dude who's,
honestly, hold on.
Those
Let's
twists.
honestly, those storylines are for me.
Yeah,
talk
maybe.
about.
You know what?
I saw Efron Stu Hot Wagner. I'm sorry, the hottest Wagner.
I don't have very.
Stu
I don't know,
Hot
have you seen
Wagner
his
said
mom?
something about.
She's pretty good looking.
You know what? The second hottest
He's,
Wagner.
yeah, sorry.
Sorry,
No
mom comes
disrespect.
first. Stu said, "That's how I felt watching Dexter," and he's right. There were Dexter. This new season was great, but there were certain times they were focusing on ancillary characters, and you're like, "Yeah, fucking get back to Dexter." I don't care about that, and it's true. And you notice that. You don't notice that with Better Call Saul.
That's just a sign of an amazing show, I guess.
Yeah, and I can't think of many shows where I felt that way. 9 out of shows, even shows that I like, 9 out of 10 shows, I'm like, all right, get to the good stuff. And I have that feeling of like, come on, I don't care about this character. But someone relates to that character. That's the weird part about it. I don't. Somebody does. Like, oh yeah, you mean Dexter's girlfriend's daughter's storyline? Yeah, I related to her because I always felt like, fuck out of here.
Move it along. Move it
But
along.
there's some person like, yeah, I related because my mom was married to like this murderer guy. So I always related to her. Like, really? Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking up like popular shows from the last like 10 years, and I'm trying to see if there's anyone that stands
I'm
out.
not going to be able to remember the crappy storyline because
You sort of forget it.
those are the parts I wasn't interested in. Wasn't interested. Yeah, I dropped the word ancillary. How do you like that?
It's pretty impressive.
My mom dropped the word the other day. I was like, I gotta incorporate that one. I didn't even point it out. I made the mental note. I was like, good one, Mom.
I heard a word recently that
She
someone
said,
used. I'm like,
it's not even congruent with the conversation.
congruent.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Congruent,
Whoa.
right?
And I just
Parallel.
listened like, oh. But I made the mental note like, congruent. I gotta remember that one. That's not even congruent with what I'm trying to say right now.
It's a great word.
It is. When's the last time you dropped a congruent?
I don't know if
Probably.
I've ever dropped
Ancillary?
a
That's not out of my wheelhouse.
Probably in like 8th grade algebra.
I honestly, one of Jordan's first observations
Or no.
of me was she thought I was a bozo, but
Ninth
she
grade
thought I had a
geometry.
great vocabulary.
9th grade geometry. I feel
Ancillary?
like congruent
Congruent.
was like geometry related.
Yeah, but you never used it.
You never used it. Yeah.
in outside of math. So, again, welcome to our Patreon.
Yeah.
Talking some TV. So, how did we get here? What did you do last night? I was desperately trying not to bring up the fact that the Celtics whooped the Heat last night.
I thought I was reading a misprint on my phone.
Yeah. So I don't want to mention the live event that happened that makes reference to last night, but sports is a part of life. And that happened last night. Celtics over Miami, 102-82. The series is tied at 2.
It's not, but that wasn't even the story. The storyline, because it looks closer than it was, even though it was a 20-point victory.
Yeah.
In the first quarter spot, I was at Ralph's, and I was like, "Oh, the game's on. Let me check the score." I was like, "Nah, this can't be right. Let me refresh because
Ralph
this is."
Sorella?
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Huh. And then you guys were pals.
Supermarket, Ralph's. And I go on the app and I'm like, all right, wait a minute. No, this can't be right. No, this can't be right. Because right now it says the score is like 26-4. I'm like, no, that can't be right. Refreshed again. I'm like, no, wait, it can't be. Wait, oh my God, it's 26-4.
Was that the end of the first quarter? Or
They got 11. They ended up
with 11.
But they ended up scoring a couple of last-minute baskets. But I was hoping, I was like, oh, please, this could be the worst first quarter in NBA history.
I was in the middle of my own personal hell at the
6
time.
times 4 is 24.
But it is. I know my times tables. Thanks, Spot. So I was great at the sevens.
Go for it.
I didn't see where it ended in the first quarter, but I saw social media feedback saying, is this real life? Is this really happening? The Celtics are dominating.
At one
But
point,
anyway, how did we get here? I was referencing Monday night. I said, I hope you enjoyed the mid-season finale, which wasn't mid at all, of Better Call Saul. And, of course, the big game last night. Whatever you did, hope you enjoyed it.
well, hold on. There's a really even better stat. All right, here we go. The first 7.5 minutes of the game, right? It was 18-1. Miami had 1 point in the first 7 minutes. Like,
So mid.
It's below mid.
1 point. Truthfully,
Sub.
you
He's so sub.
could have done the same.
Yeah.
I think that means something else.
You could have just heaved up a bunch of threes. Maybe you hit one.
Subpar.
I get it, but sub like a sub.
sub.
I got sub in my pants.
No, you don't.
All right, so that was your Monday. My personal Monday was Les Miserables. I went to the gym. That was great. Then I had all these thoughts because I'm
What'd you do?
getting significant muscle tone back. I'm not saying I'm getting in shape. I'm not exaggerating. Like,
Is that why you said you want to do the show shirtless next week?
Flex.
no, like, but I'm getting
bro.
like, wow, I got my strength back pretty quick. In 24 days, I've missed the gym 3 days,
It's pretty good.
but purposefully.
Way better than me.
I'm trying to make up for lost time, right? So I did have this thought, though. I'm like, man, I'm getting nice results, which means I'm still in the game. That's kind of cool because I'm not the youngest guy going. And it's nice to see that I can come back and bounce back like that as far as, again, not being ripped, but your muscle tone. You know when you're getting your pump back, right?
You should, if you go to a Curves, you will be the youngest guy going.
But not unless I'm there.
Who was that?
Mike Urbantrain.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. I felt a moment of remorse. Like, man, what sucks about putting in that extra effort is, like, why didn't, it's like you, Spot, when you lost all your weight.
Yeah.
I remember you saying, I'm just mad that I didn't do this sooner in
I'm
my
so
life.
mad. I'm still mad.
Right? It's like, yeah, I
So
wish I
angry.
would have started, I don't know, a year ago or kept it going or had another month head start. Or like, why did I even get to this point anyway? You know, look how fast I got to this point. Oh, that's cool. But then you start getting mad at yourself. Like, you know how great my gains and results and strength would be if I never stopped the gym? Start getting mad about the lost time and the efforts you didn't put in along the way. And that's just a reflection of life. You don't want to look back in life and say to yourself, man, I wish I would have put in more effort. I could have been somebody. I could have been great. I could have been better. I could have done this. I could have amounted to this, succeeded in that. But I didn't because of why? I had that feeling of, man, I wish I would have fucking pushed harder when I was on my couch for the past 3 months.
Like,
You know?
Rich, and you go
I
there
had
too.
couch remorse.
The gym we go to, are a lot of youngins go there.
By the way, I actually was gonna point that out. I find myself not looking because I know they're like they look
A
like
lot of
high school or
teenagers.
college girls,
It's-
and they're all wearing little shorts with a seam in the ass crack, and I'm like, this is like
I
inappropriate.
was talking about the young guys, but
And they got bulges in their little pants. Yeah.
I recently did because I just re-upped my membership and I had to create a new membership, so they thought I was a new member. So they were like, they kept harassing me. They're like, oh, we want to welcome you for a free personal training session, so you can talk about your fitness goals and check out the. I'm like, why not? I'll see what they can offer.
So you took them up on their
So
free
I took him
session.
up, but I met with the guy who was like the main guy, and we did actually talk about that. How it used to be a much older crowd at that gym, and something happened where all the local high school students now go
I know
to
what
this gym.
Ass videos on
Ass
TikTok.
videos. So they all.
No,
go
he's
to-
right because these girls and again in a
They're doing
non-creepy.
squats. You're like, I gotta get ass for more
No,
likes on
he's
my
right.
videos.
He's so true. In a non-creepy way.
I gotta get ass.
I told you they
in a
hug the-
non-creepy
they hug the-
way-
They hug the leg machine and they stick their ass up.
In
Which
the-
does nothing.
I need likes. I need more likes.
I need validation.
She has ass. I don't. There's a reason she has more likes and I don't. Ass. And 1, and ass and likes. And 2, and more likes and ass. And 3, viral ass. 4. They're just doing squats all day because these girls know that what it takes.
They're
is
doing
ass
and
to
they're
get
using
ahead.
they're using all the leg machines in wild ways, and I love it.
But I see them all in the free weight area where like the muscle dudes work out, and they're doing like
By the way, my thighs are gonna be burning. Later.
they're doing squats.
Let's do legs. Let's do legs.
They're doing squats
Go today.
with free weights, and these are all like probably inappropriately young. Like
split squats?
16, 17-year-old girls that are
all
all
do-
focused on their ass. And you're
they
right,
all do
it's
split
probably
squats.
because of social
Definitely-
media.
Definitely because of social media.
But what I was going to say is, I want to go up to these young kids and say, "Stay here as long as you can," because the fact that they're there, granted, they're not. There's horrible form because no one's teaching them what to do, so they're just flopping weights around. But if they keep with it, they can maintain and like in like 3 years be like fucking ripped jack dudes throughout their 20s. My body composition just won't allow that now because I've let my body go, and then I snapped back, so I have loose skin, I have fucking belly fat that's not going away.
Yeah, so you have regret.
I have regret. If I could go back in time, like remember when Cartman did that to himself, and like he was in shape, and then all of a sudden he's like, "I didn't believe you," and the guy went back to being fat.
Yeah.
I feel like I could go. I wish I could go back in time and be like, just go to the fucking gym.
Yeah.
Or like when I was in college, you have a state of the art brand new facility.
Spot,
at
you
the
have-
University
you
of
have the-
He
Maryland.
has a serious
fucking
case.
Use a fucking weight.
Serious
You
case of what I'm talking
fat
about.
ass piece of shit.
I just regret the past few, let's say year, where I could have went to the gym,
Not as hard as you think it is.
where I was sitting around on my couch fucking doing nothing. I'm like, damn, I really want to punch that guy in the nose. I really do. As I notice that I'm feeling better and you feel more accomplished and you just feel like a man, you know?
Well,
You feel better about it. I'm like, fuck, why did I waste so much time?
You should start a thought gym. That's just all ass exercises.
I blame the pandemic.
Nothing
everything.
for upper body. Nothing at all. All ass exercises.
But you have the most reason because you were the guy that was intimidated by the gym for way too
just
long
didn't-
when
I
there was
didn't
no real reason for intimidation. But we used to joke. Remember, Spot joined New York Sports Club
Never went.
and he paid a membership for years and never went once.
I mean,
we did the math.
I went, but I like, and if I did go, I would just do cardio. I would use the rowing machine, which I loved, but I would go, and then I would go for a week, and then I'd be like, hey, I don't like this.
You know what's crazy about doing squats, Rich?
What?
You and I,
Rich
and
doesn't do squats.
a lot of
Did you know
guys
that?
listening might have the propensity. How do you like this word?
The mic propensity.
The propensity to develop amazing glutes, but we don't even know it.
I do.
Like I told you, I have this story about my friend Justin. My friend Justin got on the juice, right?
Yeah.
And he was a skinny fucking nothing. A weak chicken-chested nobody with, what does Stanley T say? No ass having nothing?
No. Oh, now you got flat ass nothing.
My friend Justin was a flat chest, flat ass, nothing. Skinny string bean of a kid, right? Got on the juice. And
Flat ass nothing.
dude, he came to my house one day. Yeah, he was getting big. But then all of a sudden he developed ass streaks.
Oh.
And it was so evident that the jeans would stick out and his back would be open. Like you could throw papers into his jeans because his ass pushed it
got
out
a
so
bulging
far.
ass.
By no
right?
means am I saying I have a thought ass, but I grew an ass. Like I had zero ass.
You have ass propensity.
And
I might have killer glutes.
And it
I don't even know.
developed from doing squats, from doing stairs.
Did you say
friends-
propensity and ancillary in the same 20
I
minutes?
did. My buddy Justin's ass was bigger. His ass cheeks were juicier and bigger than any girl I've ever been with.
You know Rich
in my
doesn't.
life. Hold on. So bad. He came over one day. His ass was so noticeably out of control, right? When he left, I couldn't help but like, my girlfriend at the time, she's like, I feel really weird saying this. She's like, and she did kind of talk that way.
got a great
She's like,
ass.
what was going on with his ass? I'm like, I know.
I want his ass.
I'm like, I know, right? That was wild. The point is, all of us may have that ass potential. We just don't know. Because who's putting in that leg day effort? Not me.
I was at the gym. I think I told you this. This is a few months ago in the North Hollywood gym, and the little green they put out so everyone can do like random exercises. Looks like a little football field.
Yeah, people are pushing the
sled.
They're
doing squats. They have the tire thing. They have the ropes. There was a guy. I don't know if he was foofy, but he was wearing these blue tights. So they like very skin tight.
I'll be honest, but it's 2022. I don't know what's foofy. I don't know what's not. I don't know what's right to say. I don't know what's wrong to say. So
I'm here on the rowing machine off to the side of the thing. He had like the juiciest ass I've ever seen, and he was doing squats in front of me, and I'm like,
that's gay.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
but I couldn't look away because I'm like, how did this
I'm telling you, my friend came over.
Nothing wrong with that, but that is homosexual actions.
I want
that
to
you
know.
are, if you're sitting on a squat machine staring the whole time at a guy's ass.
Yeah, no, but I know what you're saying. Like, you can't help but notice because you have eyes.
To not notice it, I would have had to be.
Oh no, what is it called when you're open to all sexual stuff now?
Pansexual.
Yeah, Spot, you're just pansexual, bro. You're just pansexual.
Been like this, looking up at the ceiling the entire time.
Hey, Spot, we're all a little pansexual.
It was right in my view, and I'm like,
my point here is you don't want to be an old guy and see a young man with killer glutes and say to yourself, man,
I could have had glutes.
I could have had those if
glutes.
I wasn't just
Rich.
so like, you don't want to have those regrets and lifter's remorse.
You still not do legs?
I don't.
Give me say the reason you told me why.
Why? Because when I play sports, I feel like I get a leg workout.
I agree with you,
not what
though.
you
I do.
Because when I play
if I'm doing cardio in my mind, if I'm doing anything cardio related and I'm stretching out my legs, I always stretch.
Doesn't build
I'm like
strength.
Ichiro.
It tones. It doesn't build strength.
I know, but when I play infield. I play infield, so I'm going up and down, up and down.
But you once said to me, I don't do legs because I've never had a problem in my life, so I refuse to risk any sort of injury.
It's true. It's Spot. You ever notice how all these pitchers and all these athletes now
That's why you don't have an ass. Sarah would be so happy if you started doing legs.
You ever notice how some of the most conditioned athletes in the world are more injured than the fucking runts of the 80s and 90s?
Mm-hmm.
It's because with all that muscle and all that conditioning, it's somehow, I'm convinced, and I've read articles about this, not for myself, but I was like, how are pitchers getting more hurt now when they're in better, it's
muscles, you're tight.
Yeah, you're a little tight. So Spot,
bad stretching.
I do squats 3 days a week, just on a baseball field. I play infield, so every at bat, right? Every at bat. All right, next pitch.
And I take at least 3 shits a day sometimes. So that's
pretty good.
3 squats
Yeah.
times 7 days a week. That's 21. See, I know my sevens. 7 times 3, 21
Squatty
squats.
potty.
At least a minimum of 21 squats a week.
So yeah, between softball and taking a shit, I do squats. So yeah, I'm good.
Squatty potty.
I'm covered. So anyway, yesterday
Do amazing
went to the
things with those
gym.
legs.
I had this feeling of remorse because I'm like, look at me. And I think about all the months I laid there scratching my balls like a lazy fucking slug.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't look back in anger. You can't look back, as Oasis said.
So
You
I
can't.
had that thought, and then I looked at my phone. I got an email. This is a totally personal sort of behind the velvet rope look into what we have to deal with. Got an email from my boss that said, hey, remember that meeting we were supposed to have? Forget about it. I needed to do some stuff stat. I'm like, what? He's like, I need you to do a full-on 2-show countdown for this Memorial Day weekend. I was like, what? On Turbo on Sirius XM. Memorial Day weekend, by the way, is this weekend.
I know. It snuck up on us.
It snuck up on everybody. And that's also why I'm sort of feeling that regret of, man, I wish I would have pushed it harder at the gym. Instead, I was on the couch eating chicharrones.
He was.
I was eating too much, what are they called? Carrot chips and bitchin' sauce.
Yeah.
Kind of what I do. So my boss at SiriusXM was like, yeah, I need you to get this done by tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow? We're counting down the top 500 songs.
I'm sorry, what?
500.
Here's number 487.
Yeah.
All right, we're making progress.
And I'm like,
we're up to number 337.
But realize this. I've already signed up for extra work.
Yo.
So I got my my normal everyday responsibility that I have to do, right? Then the extra work I picked up just to try to gain the respect of my employer to get another job. But then they just dumped on, I need you to do 2 more shows by tomorrow. That's 4 shows, guys. That's a lot. And I'm like exhausted at the gym. I'm mentally drained. I'm reading all your shitty feedback. I'm like, this fucking sucks. And
number 216 is Tool.
So I didn't get to see the beginning of the Celtics Heat game because I was in my little sauna studio of rage.
We're getting there.
Counting it down.
Number 116.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, couldn't you have given me a little more of a heads up? It was literally like, I need it done. And by the way, the people I work with are super cool. And so it's more like a friendly relationship. So I understood like it had to get done. Yeah. But it was like, yo, I'm already in the weeds. I'm already in the weeds. Yeah. Can we 86 this assignment? But I am honored to say that I am counting down to number 1.
Are they giving you a bonus?
That's the first thing Jordan asked me.
Yeah,
Are they paying you extra for that?
Yeah, he's getting he's getting a
technically.
gift card to ski shop.
It airs during my shift.
Princeton ski shop?
Yeah, he's getting
That's a true story, by the way.
I know.
Yeah, he's getting,
Anyway,
so you're not getting extra?
Well, if it airs during my shift and just continually repeats throughout the weekend, I don't think so.
If anything, they're taking away a shift.
Yeah.
Because you're only doing it once.
Yeah,
Man, coming in
But
at
I gotta tell
number
you,
4.
And Rich will back me up on this.
Coming in at number 4.
Anytime you're doing
How about some bennies?
specialty holiday countdowns, you're putting in extra effort. So if you sort of mess up, you do that like 5,000 times and you get the yips. Everybody gets or experiences the yips at one point where you're like,
I prefer the nips.
you see it in sports, but I don't want to use a sports example, but where you just can't get the words out and you're like, all right, I need a mental break. Oh, you have like a little mental breakdown. And, you get up and then you try to say it again and you're like, all right, coming in at number 40. And you don't know what to do because the words just aren't coming out.
It's
right.
it's what Covino describes.
It's part of our job.
It's such a behind the scenes, like every radio host or voiceover guy or probably people doing voiceover work or acting or anything. You could. So people ask me sometimes, "Hey, Rich, how long does it take you to record Pop 2K or Hit Swan or something like that?" And I say, "There's really no answer because it could take me a half hour or it could take me hours if I got the yips." The other day, I did multiple shows and a countdowns going into the weekend. I was like, boom, bam, boom. I was rolling. I felt funny. I felt sharp. I was like, I'm rolling. A couple days ago, actually, it was in Texas. Sarah's father, stepdad, Mike, was like, Rich, I thought you were stuck in there. I go, I was in the back room voice tracking for hours because I'd be like, all right, that was Shawn Mendes on the... That was Shawn Mendes on the pulse. I just couldn't get the words out. And then I did what Covino does. I slammed down my headphones. I'm like, need a break.
Hum num shivai, hum num shivai, hum num shivai.
Let me go take a walk.
And you do a little Mike Ditka, Dick Butt Kiss, Mike Ditka, Dick Butt Kiss, Mike Ditka, Dick Butt Kiss. How many lows could Rob Lowe rob if Rob Lowe could rob lows?
The arsonists have oddly shaped feet.
All right.
There she is, your first ever American Idol, Kelly Clarkson. She's got a new theme.
And then you get it just right and you mess up like the last word.
Peter Piper picked up Becca pickled peppers.
Oh, no, it'll be the whole thing like, and then Kelly Clarkson, blah, 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 blah. And here it is on the, wrong channel because you're on multiple channels. And here's Tool on Lithium.
I
Turbo.
feel fire coming out of my ears when that happens. And it was one of those nights. And I had to get that done. I'm not even done because I have to finish it today. But I was doing this until like 10 p.m. Like from daylight till 10 p.m. Just doing all this extra work.
How many numbers did you have to do?
Well, we're counting it down from 500 to number 1.
It's probably him and all the hosts, and they probably do every 5 songs. So he's probably got like, I bet you 25 or so more. 25 to 40 breaks probably. I don't know.
Which numbers? What was your?
Yesterday I did 4 shows.
What was your
so 24 times 4, 4 times 4,
96.
What was your highest number
96.
and what was your lowest
96
number?
breaks I did yesterday.
What was your highest number and what was your lowest number that you introduced?
Yesterday it was from like 60 something to number 1, 90 something to number 1, I think.
Oh.
Well, anyway,
nightmare. So that was my yesterday.
90 Lithium songs on the wall.
It was sort of miserable. Like I said, my own little personal hell. Hang out with Melody for a little bit, but I had too much work to do. And
how's dad life going for you? You haven't given us an update. Everything good?
Yeah, Melody's fine.
Yeah, good.
But That dude I told you about yesterday did hit me up in between. I talked about a friend who came to me in need, actual need, because he was desperate in a place where he needed financial help to get by.
I want to hear what he said to you.
Well, remember, I witnessed live here on the show that, he reached out to me personally now? Oh, jeez. I was just going to ignore it, to be honest. I was just going to ignore it. I'm part of a group text. Yeah. This dude's reaching out. He's in dire need of help. Guy I haven't talked to in years, really. But social media changes that game a little bit. Yeah. I took the advice. I walked the walk. Rich said, find out how much his hotel. He's living day to day in a hotel, and they're going to evict him from the hotel. So I sent them a voice message on my ride driving Melody home or something like that. I'm like, hey, man, sorry to hear about what you're going through. I did say, are you using it again, man? What's the deal? Because if you are, here's what I think you should do. Because we have friends that I think he should contact.
Yeah, because you have friends that work in the mental health industry and
Rando, one of them.
Yeah, Barry, where people. You know people that work in mental health, and you know people that work in addiction and AA and all rehab centers.
And he's like, yo, Stevie C, great to hear from you, man. Blah, blah, blah. He said, you know what, man? I did get back on the drugs. I had a relapse 9 months ago, but I've been clean for 9 months. But the relapse is what put me in this situation that I'm in now. And I really could use any help. He doubled down on like, is there anything you could do for me? And I'm like, Jesus. So I took your advice, Rich, and I said, and by no means am I trying to be the hero or trying to tell you that, look what Steve did. Because I'll tell you straight up, Steve didn't want to do anything. Steve wanted to ignore this like it never happened. I said, hey, man, so where are you staying?
Play
and he's
hero.
like, nah, man. This is the follow-up to the story because he came to me personally now. Otherwise, I straight up admitted I was going to ignore this.
I'll play it, but it won't be the badass version.
And
no, don't play There Goes My Hero. Play like Mariah or Enrique.
I didn't do anything ridiculous. I took your advice. I thought about it. I said, hey, man, what motel are you staying at that you're getting evicted from?
Would you dance?
And he said,
I asked you to dance.
I don't know, give me a shithole in my neighborhood. Oh, the Nork Motor Lodge. Right?
Yeah.
The Nork Motor Lodge. Jesus.
You should tell him about the Hudson River Motor Inn, or what is it?
Hudson, yeah, tell him I've spent many random nights at the Holland Tunnel Motor Lodge.
That's it. That's what it is. Sorry.
So I said,
hell, it's $40 for 4 hours.
Yeah,
I said, how much is it a night? And he said, $85 a night.
Oh, there you go.
I told you that.
Hold on.
That was
so
my guess.
I called the place up. It's $85 a night. And I Venmoed him $100 for one night and food. The dude said he had $30 to his name or something like that. I don't know, or 13 something. There was a 3 in there. Could be $3 to his name. I'm like, how's this dude gonna eat?
But I thought you were gonna.
85 is a weird number. Here's an even 100, and it's almost like in a Bronx Tale. Like, how much does Joey also owe you? You got off cheap, you know.
Yeah.
Here's $100. Don't ever bother me again. Really, I don't want to hear from you. And if you make something of your life, remember I did this, and pay me back in another way. Like, I don't want to hear from you again. Here you go. Leave me alone. That's it. But I got it off my. If anything, I feel more of a selfish move because I'm like, I got it off my conscience and did the right thing or the nice thing. You could say, oh, it was nice of you to do. No, I'm telling you straight up, I didn't want to do it, but I did. So, there is a pissed off sort of feeling of, I work hard, man. I was just breaking my ass with verbal yips.
You know who sings this version?
Yeah, Chad Kruger.
From what movie? You probably heard.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably heard me say it a million times on Pop 2.
I have.
Because I have nothing else to say when I play this song. From the Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire.
I wrote a parody for this song. Me and Sammy J did. We never did it though. If you missed yesterday's show, it was like, well, what do you do when a friend really reaches out to you in need? So many times in life, Rich actually made the point. You say to yourself, man, if I would have known, why didn't they just ask me for help? I would have helped them out. And when someone actually asks you for help, then what are you going to do?
You got to walk the walk, because every time you hear a terrible story about someone taking their own life or overdosing or ending up in the streets or rehab or something, it's like, man, like, and then people will put on social media, hey, anyone I know, if you ever need a place to stay, a warm meal, anything, never hesitate to reach out to me.
I'm not
All
that
right, well,
guy.
guess what? Shit went down. I need your help. So I'm not saying you posted that, but so many people love to post
Sure.
especially around the holidays.
And
if
it's
anyone
a
needs
nice
a place
gesture.
to go, if you post around Thanksgiving, if anyone needs a place to go, you're more than welcome to my place. If your fucking weird coworker or cousin or someone you haven't talked to in years is like, oh, it's really interesting, I'm alone, you have to take them in. You put the offer out there. You can't give shallow fake offers. You can't say, if you need help, I'm here. And then when someone needs help, you can't ghost them. And
he was super thankful and meant the world to him and all that. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, no problem. Just do the right thing with it and don't bother me. That's it. So
with the strength to carry on.
Talked about it yesterday. That's the follow-up. Venmoed him. He was super stoked. I said, buy yourself something to eat and do the right thing. The end. No, I don't feel like a hero. I feel like, fuck you is how I felt, to be honest.
Did you look inside your heart?
No. I honestly felt like I'm just going through the motions.
What you are, though.
Because what would Jesus do? Honest to God, what would Jeter do?
Give him a gift basket and send him on his way.
Well, that's it. Here's $100. This is one. I gave you one night, man, and a meal. I'm done, man. Sorry, bud. Can't do it. This is all I got for you.
My buddy Sean said
really
this one
not
time.
a lot, but it is what it is.
My buddy Sean once said to me, when it comes to like helping friends or people.
Yeah, but friends, dude, or a guy who was a friend when I was a kid,
it's
and I haven't really talked to in years. And
I'm not saying you're balling by any means. In fact, we took hits on our own the last couple of years financially. But the reality is, my friend Sean always loves to say, you're never gonna be $100 shy of like your dream home, car, your kids' tuition. Like, I mean, yeah, money adds up, but it's never going to be like, man, if I didn't spend that $50 or $100, like, you did a good thing, and in the big picture, you absorb that. You'll be fine. And to him, it means a lot more in this moment. You're never no one's ever going to be like, hey, did you get that house? You know, I was gonna get that house, but you know what?
That's funny.
I talked to the bank, and I was $100 shy.
Would you believe that?
Would you believe that? They wanted this down payment, and I was like, I was $100 short. Can you believe that?
So I didn't do it for the good karma either. I really did not. I really did it because
You get a little.
I felt it was the right thing to do,
energy out of it,
and I wanted to clear my conscience of, yeah, I did the right thing. There you go. Leave me alone.
There's such a thing as karma.
Yeah, but I feel like people do good deeds.
Well,
for that,
it's not like
karma.
you were like,
that's not why.
All right, hey, what's up, Instagram? I just want to show you. I'm gonna send my friend some money. He's in a hard time.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the.
Oh, here's a homeless guy too. Here you go, homeless guy. I'm gonna change your life.
Yeah, I feel like
damn, I should have filmed this for TikTok.
It's
right?
It's self-serving.
I hate that.
But
shit.
you ever see that guy that goes around? And he's like, hey, does anyone here at Walmart? He sounds slow, but he's not. He's like, does anyone here at Walmart want to dance with me? You want to dance with me, sir? And the person's like, no. Hey, would you want to dance with me? And some guy's finally like, yeah, sure, I'll dance with you. And then all of a sudden he's like, here's $500. Thanks for dancing with me. You mean 5 for me? Yeah, $500 for you. Why? Because I like to reward kindness. No, really, man? Like, I'm down on my luck.
I'm the Walmart savior.
My life.
Yeah.
I couldn't pay rent this month. I thought I was gonna be evicted.
That's the guy that went up to
me.
Yeah, same guy goes up to like a hobo and he's like, hey, can I get $1?
Staged at all.
And the person has no money. They're not staged, Spot. I think the guy does it a million times, and I really do think you think he's staged?
Just like I love when they
You think he's staged?
I don't know. I don't believe anything on the internet anymore.
Okay.
I love when they take people out, like homeless people off the street, and they take them to like a barber, and they're like, we're gonna make you look awesome,
And then go back in the street.
and then go back on the street. So now you're the most handsome hobo I've ever seen.
All right, so hold on. It's a great question because Jordan says giving money to someone using drugs is never the right thing to do.
I don't disagree.
Why didn't you pay the hotel directly like everyone told you to? Dumbass played you.
I agree that.
You don't think I thought about this? You think I'm going to give my credit card number to a piece of shit, shady hotel?
No, call the hotel.
Motel? Yeah, and you think that fucking this piece of shit running that hotel isn't going to charge my card when they don't pay up?
I still
no way am I putting my card on record.
I told you yesterday.
That doesn't matter if I tell some lowlife, hey man, don't charge my card again.
That's smart.
They have my card on record. You don't think if these idiots aren't paying, they're going to charge my card?
That's very
I'm not giving
smart.
out my number to anybody, especially
smart.
some lowlifes in a shithole city from a shithole hotel. No way. I'm sorry, motel. Where people
Motel.
go to fucking do drugs. No thanks. I'm not putting my credit card down on that. So I gave him $100. You know what I said? I left your group. Here you go.
I do think you should have. You know how you said you know people that deal with addiction. I still think you should have put them in touch. You say
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't say
I did that.
everybody.
So anyway, that was the update there.
By the way,
and
everyone-
honestly, no skin off my back, but it's just the update. And that's my honest feelings about the whole thing. Now, again, like they said in A Bronx Tale, I got off cheap. For $100, I basically said, leave me alone because I don't want your guilt trips.
Leave me alone.
Now, I have another thought, Rich.
Because
Because I've been so busy doing this very just tedious and mind-consuming. Like, Jordan was talking to me later that night, and I was so
brain dead
and mentally tired. And it sounds like, wah, because I'm not doing heavy lifting, even at the gym. And, you know, we're not doing construction. We're not swinging axe. Is that an expression?
swinging hammer.
So I'm not swinging hammer or axes.
laying pipe.
I'm not laying pipe.
Certainly not.
So you don't want to be like,
Certainly
man,
not
I'm
laying pipe."
exhausted from all the work I'm doing, sitting in my little studio, right?
Your studio.
I'm so spent. But throughout the day,
you're
we
right.
have so many people hitting us up.
Yeah, you just spent $100.
You ever lose a message and like not be able to find it or forget who it's from? This is maybe
All the
something
time.
only Rich and I and Spot deal with.
All the time.
But we get so much feedback because we do a national radio show that if we're in the middle of our zone, right? And let's say some dude's like, yeah, man, I have a real heartfelt message I want to share with you. Or he wanted to tell us how much we meant to his life. And it's a long, drawn out message. A lot of times, not even us, everybody probably says, you know what? I'm going to take some time to respond to this because this dude took some time out of his day to write some real
And
shit.
then you never get back to it.
I can't find it. I'm like, I saw, and I can't remember who it was. I saw someone led a message with, just want to take the time to let you guys know or let you know how much you mean to me and all the times I was going through and you were there. And it was this long, drawn out message. And I didn't just want to say, thanks, bud, because I'm busy, right? Give him the thumbs up.
Hey,
Thanks, bud. Keep rocking on.
give him the point like Lalo.
Yeah, I didn't want to give him the fucking sunglasses emoji. After this long, heartfelt, so I wanted certain messages require a thought out response. So you save it for later. Now, here's what happens. Either you forget, like you said, or with us, we get so much feedback because we do a show, you can't find it. Did I get this message in Instagram? Did I get this message in Twitter? Did I get this message in Facebook Messenger? Was it a text I read?
Was it
Oh
a-
my God.
What is it? A see in our text? Was it WhatsApp? Was it this? Yeah, you don't know.
Who was it again? Damn, I can't remember. Because you got to realize, if we're in our zone and we're working, we're just looking at messages we get along the way. And I saw one that stood out. And I'm like, I'll save that for later. Totally forget. And I'm sure that happens to
the worst
everybody.
feeling.
Yeah, it's the worst. So that did happen. Losing messages, it's a real thing.
It is.
Delinquent friend update.
I
And
think you did the right thing, by the way. I think you did the
Well,
right
I wasn't
thing.
giving anybody my credit card number. That's
Yeah,
I thought that out.
But I trust doing that. The credit card.
Do you know the lowlifes that work at places like that?
Yeah, but you're
think I'm gonna
insured.
give
You're
them my
insured.
number?
You're insured by your credit card company.
I don't need that
I know you
headache.
don't want to deal with the headache.
And
I
then
know.
they're going to be delinquent on another payment
Yeah,
and
I know.
have my number on file?
Oh, here.
Fall guy. So I have a question for you.
Fuck
Rich.
it. He.
This is, I don't know how this relates to your life, guys, but it relates to mine. So hear me out. It's sports related, but it's not about sports.
is it sports?
No, it's not.
Okay. Sure.
No, it's not about sports. We mentioned how Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson were beefing on the field, right?
Yes.
What we thought was just traditional trash talk. The backstory was Tim Anderson of the White Sox said he was the next Jackie Robinson in the game, bringing that type of excitement to the game. Josh Donaldson, in a way to get under his skin, in a way to rib him, to trash talk him, he's like, all right, Jackie. Hey, Jackie.
Yeah.
Then they called Josh Donaldson a racist, benches cleared. It became a big national story. Not just a local story, national story. Josh Donaldson, here's the update. Suspended 1 game by the MLB.
Horseshit.
Horseshit. I agree. There's 2 side stories. The update is Aaron Judge has come forth and said he made a mistake. He shouldn't have said that. That's a question in itself. If you're the leader of the team, what would Jeter have done as captain? Judge isn't captain, but he's the leader of the team. Do you have your teammates back?
Or are you taking the righteous approach?
Or did he say, look, I'm a mixed guy, man.
He's a righteous dude.
I can't come forth and have your back on this story, man. I'll be isolating all the people that look up to me. Sorry, man. Hey, Josh Donaldson made a mistake, and we got to move on. You know?
What mistake?
Yeah, I don't know. So that's a story in itself. Josh Donaldson, who called Tim Anderson, Jackie, is now in a situation where Aaron Judge, his teammate, didn't really defend him the way most people think he probably should have just as a teammate. Right? So that's one story, but that's a little more sports related. I don't want to go there.
Now, you're going down the route.
It could be family and friend related. Like, do you always have the back of your family and friend, even if you don't disagree or if you're on the fence?
Yeah, I think
you have a public image to keep. I don't know.
I think, in relationships, how many times do you see some guy have to get his wife's back?
Me. I did it 1,000,000 times because I had to go to bed with that woman.
No. And I think,
I wasn't going to bed with Spot.
What was it? Besides you, I feel like another friend of mine.
Was that an option?
I saw another friend of mine take a weird stance on something. Not with me, but with someone else. And I'm like, interesting. He's like, well, what am I supposed to do? It's my wife. And I'm like, yeah, I guess,
Yeah. And that's kind of how I feel about Aaron Judge. Like, what am I supposed to do? He's my teammate. And I believe his side of the story.
Oh, you know what it's like? You were talking about Better Call Saul before? The couple, that doofy couple that does taxes that Saul tried to use.
Yeah.
Remember, like, the wife got all fired up and the guy's like,
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times guys will have to just stand by while their wife flies off the handle or their girlfriend flies off the handle. And a lot of times you look at the guy and you're like, I've had guys come up to me in my life where they're like,
early 2000s?
Yeah, probably in the early 2000s. Where they're like, yo, I got no problem with you, but, I have to, like, look like I'm talking to you right now because, like, I don't know, my girl was mad about something. I feel like I've had scenarios where I've had people, I've even had women come up to me where they're like, hey, like.
You don't think baseball managers do that just for the optics of, hey, listen, Blue. I just got to put on a show here for the team to show them that I got their back. You made an okay call, but let me tell you, fuck you, Blue, all right? Hey, we're cool, though, just so you know, but go fuck yourself.
Yeah, because I got to tell this guy that I got,
I'm just trying to put on a show that people know that I care. You got it? All right, go fuck yourself. Say hello to your family for me. Hey, get over here. Fuck out of here. People put on a show. I get it. Aaron Judge did not put on the show. Aaron Judge said, yeah. Spot, if you want to pull up the quote, but that's just one part of the story.
Oh, but I've had girls hit me up like, yeah, you can't be texting me anymore. And I'm like, okay. And then I get a hit up later, like
that's funny.
I had to do that because, like, the guy I'm dating is really jealous. But I know. I hope you're well, and But like, yeah. So yeah, it's man,
optics.
Yeah, sticking up for. But you were going down the path
Aaron
of
Judge have to have Donaldson's back?
I think so. Bad camaraderie.
That's the other side of the story that's developing now. So that's the update. These are updates. I gave you the update on an old friend. He was an old friend.
But
am I supposed to let him, die? What the fuck am I supposed to do?
The path you're going down, though.
This is the update on Josh Donaldson, Tim Anderson. Aaron Judge is now in the mix because he spoke on behalf against. Oh, we actually have it? I didn't actually see it.
Sorry.
I read it. So let's hear what he has to say. Here's the update.
Oh, wait. Let me turn off my hero music.
And then I have a professional question in regards to this.
Okay.
Was suspended for a game. What's your reaction to what happened there in that decision?
Is this the original statement, maybe?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
It's a tough one. Joke or not, I just don't think it's the right thing to do there, especially, given the history, especially the series in Chicago, kind of a little bit of beef between Anderson and JD, and, Anderson's, one of the best shortstops in the game, and, he's a big part of MLB and, what's going on here and how we can grow the game, and, JD for that 1-game suspension. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it, on JD's, he made a mistake, owned up to it, and now we got to move on.
He gave a non-answer.
That was, in print, it's he made a mistake and we meet.
Looking at his expression, it was
the
like,
headline is he didn't have his back.
Yeah.
But he was really put in a really awkward place. There's no question that he was scammering there to say something diplomatic, but still it was received as he didn't have his teammates back. Leaders, potential captains, are supposed to have their teammates back. It's a weird story. That's the update. Make of it what you will. I'm just giving you the update. Now, Paul O'Neill. He's an athlete. Sorry. Paul O'Neill, one of my heroes. So I'm having a hard time making clear of this because I'm going to have his back because I like the guy. Okay?
Oh, I think this is ridiculous.
Oh, you do? You know the story?
I think Paul O'Neill stinks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He really only hit 1 home run for that sick kid. Remember?
Yeah. Well, the kid wanted 2 home runs.
He wanted 2 home runs. The second was just an in the park home run.
And he's got terrible hair.
Hold on. Full disclosure here. I don't know how to feel about this because why?
You love Paul O'Neill.
I love Paul O'Neill. I think he's a great guy. And I really like him. I love everything about the guy. So, Paul O'Neill, former Yankee, former Red, World Series champion.
Sports.
He throws left and kicks left. Says it on Baseball Reference because he kicked the ball
with his left foot from the outfield.
Do you know what he said about that just this week? He goes, you know what, Michael? He goes, I'm telling you, that clip is played so much on bloopers, my kids think that's the only thing I'm known for.
I think it is.
Isn't that hilarious? He kicked the ball once from the outfield into the infield.
If you've never seen it, it is
legendary.
Magical.
So let me give you the story real quick. Paul O'Neill has a new book out. And I honestly want to give it props.
How to Dominate with a Perm?
Paul O'Neill.
How to Have a Perm and Still Get Respect by Paul O'Neill.
It's called Swing and a Hit with Jack Curry. Paul O'Neill and Jack Curry, who's another broadcaster. 9 innings of what baseball taught me. Paul O'Neill. I don't expect anyone to care about Paul O'Neill. He's one of those guys that doesn't get the credit he deserves. He was great. Great player.
There's no way it can top A Dominican Dream with Alfonso Soriano.
That is true.
So get this.
My favorite book of all time.
The dude's on a promotional sort of campaign for his book. And this is more of an industry question, but I can't see it clear because I like Paul O'Neill.
Oh, it's so clear to me. I feel like you would have pussied out.
So here's the deal. Paul O'Neill, who's also a Yankees announcer, he's currently a Yankees announcer and former player, is on a promotional campaign doing interviews on podcasts and TV and radio shows to promote his book.
Yeah.
And I saw him on Mad Dog.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
His interview style is so weird. Hey, so I can't do his voice right now. I'm not feeling it. But he's like, so take us back to 1996. All right, let me hear your thoughts on that. Every time he says something,
yeah.
All right, go. Let me hear your thoughts on that.
Open-ended.
He instructs the guest on when to talk.
Yeah,
but every time where it's noticeably weird. So Paul O'Neill's doing interviews, and then he's on hold with a guy named Brandon Tierney on WFAN.
Well, it's a big show. Tierney does a show with Tiki Barber for CBS. It's like it was a syndicated show. Now they're on WFAN.
Brandon Tierney, who admittedly likes Paul O'Neill,
said it's his favorite player ever other than Derek Jeter.
Which is baffling to me because let me tell you what happens. Paul O'Neill, who's a nice guy, he's the every guy who stepped up on the biggest stages in sports.
Well, now you're sweating him for a different reason, so stop.
No, because he's a nice baseball player.
You don't
makes
know
him relatable.
You never met him.
He's a great dude. Paul O'Neill's a great guy.
He could be a murderer.
Nah, he's a great guy.
You don't know him.
He's on hold. Hey, it's Brandon Tierney, Tiki Barber, WFAN. All right, man. Could you believe the Josh Donaldson story, Tim Anderson? We're going to get to your phone calls next, but we got Paul O'Neill on hold. Right? Paul O'Neill is on hold.
Yeah.
Waiting. All right, let's welcome Paul O'Neill. Right?
Yeah.
He's on hold, but then Brandon Tierney and Tiki Barber get word that Paul O'Neill does not want to talk about Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson. No questions on this controversial story about Jackie Robinson. Is it racist or not? He's there to promote his book. So right then and there, Brandon Tierney and Tiki make this executive decision. Then we're not having him on the show.
It was definitely the right move.
I don't know, man. I thought I was a little mad about it. I'm like, you
I think it was the ballsiest right move to make.
How? How is that relevant to his book that he's trying to talk about right now?
Because
it's just
no one cares about Paul O'Neill's book.
You're trying to get a soundbite, dude.
No one cares about Paul O'Neill's book.
But Paul O'Neill's supposed to be like, yeah, I'm going to take the bait so that I could be ridiculed like Aaron Judge here.
All right, they're having a heated sports discussion about.
This has happened to us before,
man. It's
They're
tough.
having a heated sports discussion.
You don't respectfully sometimes say, "Fine, I'm not going to ask that." We've never done that.
Yeah, but they were in the heat of the moment. They were in the heat of the moment.
That's not his fault. He didn't jump. If you and I were
fine.
in a heated, you expect your guest to jump into a fueled sort of conversation that they were not prepared to talk about?
That's true.
You don't think Paul O'Neill's prepared to talk about something?
He did not want to.
He did not want to.
Yeah, but
then they can opt to then say, listen,
because it's a lose-lose conversation for the guy. He's there to sell a book.
Dude, you're never going to want to hear the other side of it. So then, you love Paul O'Neill, move on.
I felt as a fan of this guy, I felt like it was very disrespectful to have this dude sitting there waiting to be on your show and then shit on, and then the headline, if you follow sports at all, the story is that this guy and Tiki Barber said no to Paul O'Neill. That's kind of a diss, and I felt bad for him. I thought it was unprofessional.
What they could have done, they could have said, hey, we're in the middle of this heated debate. We'll get to your book in a second. Any thoughts? And if he was like, no, I don't have any, he could have just genuinely said, I have nothing to say on this.
Yeah.
Just here to talk about my book. They didn't have to not have him on.
I get it. It's a dick move, but it's a dick move at his expense. And I feel like that's what was more important to them than the actual ethics of their show. And well, if you're not going to participate in our discussion, that has really nothing to do with you right now, even though he's a Yankees analyst. I get it.
What do you mean it has nothing to do with him? He's the guy that calls the Yankees.
Because the Yankees, even when Nasty Nestor had that controversy about his texts, right? Mm-hmm. The broadcasters weren't talking about that because I bet you that Nasty Nestor said, hey, man, I'm trying to move on from that. I don't need our network guys talking about it. It's conflict of interest.
I disagree with you, but you don't want to hear it, so we'll move on to the next thing.
No, you're allowed to disagree. I'm just telling you.
My thought is he wasn't visiting the studio. He was on the phone. It's a way different thing if someone came through Midtown Manhattan to a studio, sat in a lobby, and then they're like, yeah, sorry, later.
But I'm sure he allotted time for that interview. And then to cancel right then and there because of their conversation.
Paul O'Neill's busy day to day. Like, they canceled the phone call.
Busy day to day. He's a dad. He's got other interviews to do.
All right, then you're never going to see it the other way, so move on.
I thought it was a disrespectful
then
move.
Just move on if you don't want to hear the other side.
I'm listening to you. I'm just not agreeing with you.
They canceled a phone call?
It's very blindsided.
They canceled the phone
call. If it wasn't discussed beforehand,
all right.
They canceled with him there? No, he was on hold.
They canceled a phone call.
I have the audio if you want to hear it.
They canceled the phone call, and on top of that, not only did they cancel a phone call, they were in a heated conversation, and you can't let the guest, and we've done this too many times to our fail, you can't let the guest dictate the pace of your show. And if they're having, all right, listen, this is not national radio. They're New York radio. And believe it or not, local New York people love to hear about Mets and Yankees shit. Mm-hmm. So they're having a heated conversation about Josh Donaldson and Aaron Judge and Tim Anderson and all this. And then they're going to be there. So let's say they'll be like, there are times where you, me and Spot, we're having a hilarious moment or a great argument or something. And then it's like, all right, guys, stop what we're doing because from the TV show Suits, here's so-and-so.
Way different.
How?
Because you and I were talking about roller skating, and we welcomed John C. Reilly to the show, and it's available now. If you want to watch it, it's available now on our Patreon. A throwback A classic CNR moment with John C. Reilly. Rich and I were talking about roller skating and its comeback. Hey, John, man, welcome to the show. Hey, good to be here, guys. Yeah. Man, what are you wearing? Oh, my clothes. Oh. Hey, man, we were just talking about roller skating. Really? I happen to be wearing... Yeah, we're talking about roller skating. This is a very heated debate. These are my clothes. Where the players on the actual team don't even want to address it. But now you're asking Paul O'Neill, who's trying to sell books, to address a very divisive topic about race.
All right, so maybe tell Paul O'Neill, listen, can we push the interview back an hour because it would be very awkward.
They canceled on the guy, which was disrespectful.
Whatever, then disrespectful, you're right. Speaking of John C. Reilly, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, John C. Reilly.
How old is he?
57.
I'm not expecting you to agree with me.
So when I start giving you the flip side, you start cutting me off saying how I'm wrong. So what do you want me to say? I think that these guys are professional broadcasters and they are having a heated, hot topic discussion. They don't want their flow interrupted by a subdued Paul O'Neill talking about his new book.
That's bad planning on their part. Then hold off. You don't cancel, and then the headline is you diss Paul O'Neill, and you're all proud about it because you took a stance.
I'm sure Paul O'Neill was on a phone tour.
I'm sure Paul O'Neill just moved on to his
And I publicly responded everywhere I could. I publicly said, I'm sure Paul O'Neill gives a fuck. Fuck that show.
That's how you usually goes.
It's a very popular show.
Shit, they're fucking rude to my guy.
People,
who's your guy?
I'm like Aaron Judge. I got my guy.
Who's your guy?
Paul O'Neill's my guy.
You never met him.
Fuck them. I like him. I don't care. I don't need to meet the guy to know I'm a fan. You think everyone who's a fan of somebody met them?
Paul O'Neill's a dick.
I don't care. I appreciate that guy. So, unlike Aaron Judge, I'm having my guys back. I'm saying, fuck those dudes. They were rude to Paul O'Neill. That's how I feel about it. Okay. And I'm sure he doesn't give it rat's ass. I hope he sells 1 million books.
Can I hear the clip spot to see?
Yeah. There's no visual to it, so I'll just play the audio.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I was just trying to decipher what's going on in the control room. I'm going to take you guys a little bit behind the scene. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm always going to be transparent with the audience, and that's just the way it's going to be. So we're supposed to have Paul O'Neill on the show, and I love Paul. He's my second all-time favorite Yankee behind Mattingly. I love the guy. All-star, champion, batting title. Love him in the booth. We were supposed to have him on right now, all right, and he was on hold. Okay, and he's got a new book coming out called Swinging a Hit, and Jack Curry wrote it along with Paul. And we were told, Tink, you don't even know this because I was just going through this as you were finishing up your thought on the air. We were told we cannot ask anything about Donaldson and Anderson, and I said we can't do the interview if that's the case. I said, please tell Paul that we will navigate this responsibly. We will not belabor it. We will not put him in an incredible, but I cannot have Paul O'Neill on the show after we spent an hour and 35 minutes talking about Tim Anderson and Josh Donaldson and not ask him about what transpired. So that sucks. No disrespect to Paul. I love him. Truly my second all-time favorite Yankee. But we got a responsibility to the show.
Yankee.
That's the way it's got to be.
You don't have the respect to know that he works for the Yankees and it's probably counterproductive for him to speak on behalf of the current players and give his opinion on a race-related issue? How is that productive for Paul O'Neill? Fuck out of here. That was a weak story. Anyway, that's the update. I'm just giving you the updates on the whole, that Josh Donaldson, Tim Anderson story, not going away. There's layers to that. So that's the update there. And as a fan of this dude, it is hard for me to see it clear. But I thought it was disrespectful. The end. And you could also, the other takeaway from this discussion is you could see how blinded you are sometimes by
your love of Paul O'Neill.
Yes, it's all about Paul O'Neill.
No, it's your love of Paul O'Neill is blinding you.
Did it not? We discuss like you have to have the back of people that you care about, even though they're wrong sometimes. It could be a loved one. It could be like you're blinded by it. You're going to have the back of someone you care about, even if they're wrong. You know,
I mean, Andrew Hart is 100% right. Both sides have a point. O'Neill has nothing to gain by discussing it. His hands are tied. However, the hosts are doing a show, and they have a responsibility to be entertaining, knowing that they can't go from a heated, awesome conversation to like having like small chat with Paul O'Neill.
No, they took a big time stance on Paul O'Neill. That's what they did.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, I'll break it up with some mail time. Spot, we got some mail time?
Oh, yeah, mail time.
Mail time, real quick. Mail time. Thanks for all the presents, the gifts, and for hanging out with us, guys. Mail time. All right, so real quick. And then rando news and whatever Rich wants to talk about. Oh.
Yeah, come on.
This is so thoughtful.
Read the note.
This is a gift for my daughter again for no reason, and I appreciate it. It's from Heidi Nakama. Heidi,
Why?
nothing like new art supplies. Just being nice. I mean,
kindness.
So kind.
Hey,
You should
look,
put
see?
Heidi in touch with your friend.
I gave an old friend $100, and I get a beautiful art supply case, 72-piece art pencil set for my daughter. As my mom says, it all comes out in the wash. It all bounces out. Thank you. Look at that. That's kindness. That's love.
Heidi. See, look at that.
Thank you,
You got a nice little art supply for Melody.
Look at that.
And you paid for some guy's hotel.
Yeah.
See, it all like life.
Thank
life
you so
balances,
much.
right?
I mean, I don't even know what to say when people are so kind. You know, thank you so much. Thank you, Heidi. Appreciate it.
Kindness.
And I
Heidi.
know she's not doing it for the thank yous and the shout outs.
Maybe she is.
No, she's not.
Maybe she's like, if I send him something, he'll say.
No. Thank you so much. Real quick spot in the Rando news.
Are we rando newsing?
No, I don't have anything.
Oh.
So, again, we said the Celtics over Miami. They destroyed Miami. And it's so weird because it's so back and forth, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's tied 2-2, but there hasn't been a good game yet.
Right.
Yo.
Tonight's game, Golden State Warriors at Dallas. Enjoy that. But the Rando news is this. Spot, did I send you the picture of the little doggy?
I gotta check. There's no news, but it's news.
News.
So I believe my Stony homie sent this to me. Stony homie, what's up? Apparently, according to KTLA, Riverside County Animal Service found a 4-month-old Chihuahua.
Yo quiero Taco Bell Mexican pizza or something.
And they found this 4-month-old Chihuahua, get this, with an arrow through its neck. So some piece of shit, some degenerate piece of shit, thought this dog was target practice. I don't think it was by accident. The story, as I was led to believe, is like people are terrible. So I don't think it was like this dog just happened to be in the line of fire of this guy's target practice. He was trying to hit some old beer cans.
It wasn't Mario Rengel.
Luckily, the arrow missed any important arteries, and the veterinarians were able to remove it, so the doggy's okay.
Holy
Yeah, so
mackerel.
investigation underway after puppy was found in Coachella Valley with an arrow in its neck. It was a miracle, actually. So,
Damn.
but can you imagine this dog's running around with an arrow in its neck? It's like Mr. Garrison with the nail in his head.
Oh, yeah.
Ever tell you the story about my dad and my Uncle Mario?
No, let's hear it.
He's not really my uncle, but it was my dad's best friend, so he was like an uncle to me, right? Really funny guy. The story goes, my dad and Uncle Mario were such clowns that they took Mario's little brother, Joe, and they said, here, stand against the wall, and they put an apple on his head. True story, though.
I think you've said this before.
I'm not sure if it was my dad or my Uncle Mario who did this, but they were throwing darts at their
Apple.
little brother's head. Yeah, trying to hit the apple. And sure enough, one of them threw a dart and it went right into the head of the brother. But the brother was still standing there. Like, didn't feel it.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, he's probably like, huh.
So they were like, holy shit. And they didn't know what to do. And as the story goes, my dad always says they did this like sort of dance, like, and just yanked it out of his head real quick.
And, like,
and then he was like, and everyone's like, they got in trouble for it or whatever. But, the kid was sitting there with a dart in his head.
Better than an arrow through your neck.
Imagine if you're a little doggy with an arrow in your neck. It's a terrible story. It's a sad, sad story. And they removed it, and it's all good. But there it is.
Thankfully.
And I mentioned it before, but September 17th, according to Triple G, the Canelo trilogy is on. Canelo lost his last fight at a higher weight division. He's coming down again for that unification. I want your Triple G belts. September 17th.
What do you think most boxing fans want? You're the
Trilogy.
ultimate boxing fan. Would you rather the rematch with the guy that beat him, or do you want Triple G Part 3?
Triple G Part 3.
Okay, so they did the right thing. If the average and the passionate boxing fan rather...
The only problem is Triple G may be well past his prime, and Canelo has to win.
Well, if
And
Canelo
I'm a
loses,
Triple G fan,
if Canelo
so-
loses to Triple G, then is it even worth fighting the guy at the higher weight class? Because then it's like, well, what the fuck now?
This goes back to the previous story. You got to be loyal to your guys. Triple G is my guy. I want him to win. I like Canelo. He's a Vato Loco forever. The only time I root against the Vato is when Triple G's involved. He's my dude.
He's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah, so that's on September 17th, according to Triple G. But a lot of times that shit doesn't develop the way you hope it will. So in other random news, anything else stand out to you? Like aside from the Johnny Depp updates,
No,
which
I mean,
we started on?
there's a couple things that I'm grumpy. I just don't know how to really. Again, there are times where I'm like, I feel like everyone's damn lost their mind.
Tell me about it.
Amen.
And how?
And there's a couple stories where
You said it, Buster.
there's a couple stories where, all right, the Josh Donaldson thing, believe it or not, was sort of my jump off for. There's two stories that one has to do with comedy and one has to do with a holiday, and they both go along the same pattern in my mind as the Josh Donaldson thing,
Right.
which is what am I missing? Like, because I know I keep my mind open to these things. Like the Josh Donaldson thing, I still don't see what he did wrong. There's no racism there. Yeah, he was trash talking. So now are we just now saying trash talking's wrong?
We all acknowledge that he was trying to piss off Tim Anderson, and it worked.
And guys constantly on the football field, basketball court, I'm sure the hockey rink, the people on the ice, people are trying to get inside the head of their opponent and they're trying to trash talk. In fact, people talk about the best trash talkers of all time. So I can't still grasp why what Josh Donaldson did was wrong. So that's where this started. Then I saw two other stories where I'm like, again, what's wrong
What
with
am I
me?
missing, right?
What am I missing?
I'll tell you what you're missing. And it's what I'm missing. It's perspective. Like for some reason, my brother also thinks it's racist. And I'm like, how? Just younger perspective, different perspective. I'm like, how? Because the guy's black? How?
I have a thought.
I'm with you, but I think it's just because we're less sensitive and we grew up different. Our perspective's different than someone younger who sees it as somehow racist. I don't know. I don't get it.
I saw this article and my first thought was, wow, what a treat.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then what a treat turned into people were disgusted and disappointed. Oh, let's see if you can guess what it is. My thought was, man, what a treat. But the response was, really disappointed.
Oh, I know. John Mulaney.
Bingo. Dave Chappelle and John Mulaney slammed.
Another horseshit story. But you know what? Is that the agenda? Or is that, is this...
Let me tell people the story, and then you could give your point.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle showed up. He showed up unannounced to a John Mulaney comedy show. Comedian Dave Chappelle made a surprise appearance Friday with fellow comedian John Mulaney in Columbus, Ohio, drawing major criticism on social media because some of the jokes were targeted at the LGBTQ community. According to attendees, Chappelle, who lives about 40 miles away, was a surprise opener for Mulaney's From Scratch tour. There was no footage because attendees were required to lock their phones up before the show. Afterwards, however, many attendees took to social media to express concern and criticism. Some reported that Mulaney and Chappelle even shared an embrace and hug on stage.
By the way, can you imagine Dave Chappelle showing up as a surprised guest and opening up for Mulaney? What an honor for Mulaney, and what a treat for the crowd.
The comments on social media, pretty disappointed in John Mulaney. Saw him tonight, and yeah, he was funny, but he gave Dave Chappelle time to tell transphobic jokes. Very disheartening. Then there's someone, I saw in another article where someone was talking about how they felt threatened and they felt threatened and in danger when Dave Chappelle took the stage.
By the way, no cap. What do you mean no cap. That just means no BS, Fred Durst. You can still wear your cap. Yeah.
I'm deeply disappointed and upset by John Mulaney. He's lost a fan. How could he hug Dave Chappelle?
No cap.
Like,
Rich is not BSing at all. This was a big story yesterday on every major news publication that John Mulaney's losing fans, and how could he give a platform to transphobic comedian Dave Chappelle? It's like,
wild.
first of all, transphobic is such a terrible word. Like, anything like, is he scared and really like the phobia part of that word and all of those words is such a like misrepresentation of the truth.
I've seen an actual like, not a comedian. I've seen like a doctor or someone that studied
it's like
sociology.
Yeah,
talk about how we
spiders. I'm not scared of like gay people.
Yeah, so I saw like a sociologist or someone that studied like patterns of human behavior. Talk about how we've as a society started to really throw on the phobia to things incorrectly. How it's like transphobic, this, that. It's like no.
It's a misuse.
No, like
it's like he's transphobic because he's first of all, because he's making, get this, jokes. And like that's like
that's different. That's different than Spot actually being scared of spiders.
I hate spiders.
Arachnophobia. Yeah. But guess what? You're not scared of Spot. Are you scared of someone commenting on stage and telling jokes?
Chris D'Elia does a funny bit. Spot, if you could find it.
By the way, if you think I'm just making this up, like it's not
that's why I said no cap.
Dude,
He's
USA
not BSing.
Today,
It's
New
everywhere.
York Post, CNN, Fox, everyone is covering how Dave Chappelle, which I said, imagine you go to see John Mulaney. It's like, hey, guess what, everyone? A surprise. Dave Chappelle's opening up. I would feel so blessed to be like, yo, I get to see Mulaney and Chappelle, two of my favorites. Yes! Like, I think that is a gift. That would be like going to see a favorite band. Covino, you went to go see GNR, and they're like, guess who's here, guys?
Who?
Dave Grohl's going to do some music. No way. Not Dave Grohl. I don't like him. Oh, I feel threatened.
I'm mad at GNR now because Dave Grohl stands for something I don't believe in.
I mean,
So anyway.
it is.
I don't get it. I'm with Rich. But my question based on that is, and it's a big story.
Oh, and by the way, now the narrative is John Mulaney, not only did he go down the drug path, now he has a baby with Olivia Munn. Now he's friends with transphobic people. Like John Mulaney's gone down a bad path.
Oh, yeah. It's not about Dave Chappelle's a bad guy. It's, can you believe John Mulaney allowed this? We need to like cancel this guy now. John Mulaney's the bad guy for welcoming his friend who does comedy on
You're right.
stage.
It is a.
So is it like a flawed logic agenda? Is there like an agenda to get people riled up for the headlines, or is it real? Are these stories real?
It's like three people. Stu hit us up, and I agree. It's a lot of fake news. I hate to use that term, but it's a lot of
it's fake news. It is.
It's nonsense. Who's really? In fact, I bet you. Let's say, what do you think? What do you think Mulaney played to? Maybe 5,000 to 10,000 people, like a small like arena venue, right?
Where did this happen? I can look it up.
I'll search it. Don't worry. I'm gonna guess like thousands because Mulaney's a big act. And by the way, I agree with Casey. Ricky Gervais just released a comedy special, and there was an LGBTQ joke, and people are freaking out, saying that he's going to get canceled. But canceled by who? The only smart thing Trevor Noah ever said, because I don't like Trevor Noah professionally. I'm sure maybe personally he's a good fella, but professionally, I roll my eyes a lot at Trevor Noah. But he did say something.
The Value City Arena holds 18,000.
18,000 people.
18,000 people.
That's nice. So yeah, imagine you go to that and you get to see Mulaney and Chappelle. How cool is that?
That's a bonus.
That's a bonus.
It's a surprise guest. It's a treat.
It's like Spot when you went to go see Billy Joel at Shea Stadium and they bring out Paul McCartney.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, imagine someone's like, but I hate the Beatles. Oh.
Yeah, and it was super close to where Chappelle lives.
Yeah.
So,
I guess. So
he probably,
I hate the line, she was just 17. You know what I mean. What did he mean?
But yeah, it is a lot of fake outrage.
She was just
the one you read?
17.
I read all of them. Yeah, I mean, there's a million of them, but there's not a million of them. But you're right. We're giving value to like a couple offended people.
Not
tweets.
we.
Le Beefy.
The mainstream media.
Mainstream media, who we were led our entire lives to believe that, well, this is news.
I don't know if anyone's really.
We have to really consciously look at these stories and remember that this is bullshit.
By the way,
they should lose all credibility, but yet we still keep pandering and buying into this garbage.
Why is John Mulaney not allowed to be friends also with Dave Chappelle? What's that all about?
I don't know. But
Meaning, like, if they came up in the comedy world together, I think someone else had to defend the friendship. Like, there were multiple comedians that had to be like, yeah, they're my friend. Like, when people try to, quote, be canceled, it's funny how people embrace them.
It's not that they're trying to cancel Dave Chappelle. Now they're trying to cancel John Mulaney because he's friends with the person you want to cancel. Really weird.
It's a weird dynamic.
But Chris D'Elia sort of wraps up why you shouldn't take a comedian's opinion serious anyway. I thought it was kind of funny. If I'm remembering correctly, it kind of goes with the conversation. Spot, I sent it to you to pull up, just to sort of make sense of why this is so foolish.
You know what a small percentage of the world transgendered people are? So to like overly tiptoe around all this stuff, it's like it's such a small minority of people that are being offended.
A larger amount.
And
in California.
we're losing our minds over the complaints of a few.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like going to a restaurant. If like one person doesn't like the salmon, they're gonna close down the restaurant. Like, think about it. Go to your favorite restaurant. You go on their Yelp reviews. There's a couple people that hate the restaurant, and you're like, how do they hate this restaurant? I love this place. Go to Del Frisco's Yelp, and I'm sure there's people that are like, I hated the steak. It was overpriced.
And it's always the vocal minority.
Yeah, but look at it.
It's very rare that people like praising places, but they will gladly fucking get on their keyboards and phones.
I talk about this all the time. Can I tell you a really stupid story? I slay it. I've expressed this, but on SiriusXM, I'm bringing the heat.
Yeah, I think you say it every day.
I'm the best. I really am. I believe it. I know it. I feel it. I don't say these things to the bosses. That's not why I'm not getting ahead. I'm telling you how I feel inside.
I'm the best.
If I say one thing that someone thinks is wrong, they are so quick to pounce on, you know, you're wrong about that. I'm like, dude, first of all, I'm making a joke, but people live to correct you or complain. They don't lead with, hey, great job. It's very rare that people lead with, great job. That was great. Hey, this meal was fantastic. Can I see the manager? I just want to say what a great experience I had. That shit rarely happens. But if some shit goes wrong, that's when people love to pounce. I don't want to get into my whole boring story. I just said something that was a joke.
Joe.
Anytime I do that, people love to correct you.
Do you want to watch the...
Yeah, here's the Chris D'Elia clip.
Look, it's so weird to get mad at a comedian for what we say. It's actually the weirdest. Do you know why? We're joking.
That's really it. But let it go.
We made the whole thing up, okay? We didn't mean it. But this is the best part about that to me. You paid us to say it. Do you know how fucked up that is? Here's how you really realize how fucked up it is. Imagine it all sped up. Like, it usually takes time to get offended at a comedian at his show. You buy the ticket a month in advance and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see you. Then you watch a show. During the whole show, you're just, ha, 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 you know? And then they say one thing and you're like, I don't know about the one part, but... Then you leave, you're in a good mood. And you get home, fall asleep, you wake up the next day and you're like, that one thing bothers me, blog, right? That's how it happens. But imagine it all sped up. Imagine you could walk up to a comedian and you're like, hey, comedian, I'd like for you to say something. Here's some of my money for you to say it. And then the comedian's like, okay, blah, blah. And then you're like, you know what? Go fuck yourself. Like,
that's the logic behind it.
Yeah, that's the sped up version of what we're doing.
They're joking.
His delivery is fantastic on that.
We're joking. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why are you mad at comedians, you fuckheads? Anyway.
All right, that was one story besides Josh Donaldson that had me thinking, like, what? I have one more that's in the same vein.
It's like, I see it, I roll my eyes, I move on.
Now, this...
It's sad, though. It's a sad state of affairs that we can't even take in the news.
This I don't know. Again, I am naive to this, so please, Spot, pull up this article and help me try to navigate it. Because someone came out with an ice cream to celebrate Juneteenth, and I was like, well, that's very nice, you know. And now there's a whole thing about trying to capitalize on an African-American day of remembrance.
All roads lead back to racism.
So someone put out someone put out an ice cream, like a Juneteenth celebration ice cream.
It was Walmart.
And there's
I'm sorry,
Walmart. And my first thought is like, explain it to me then, because my first thought was, oh, like a special commemorative Juneteenth ice cream for your celebration. And I'm like, if I saw nothing racist, I'm like, what is? All right, so yeah, read the packaging. Let's see.
Let's see. So it's Great Value, which is the Walmart
The
brand.
Walmart brand, yeah.
Celebration Edition Juneteenth Ice Cream. Share and celebrate African American culture, emancipation, and enduring something.
Better be chocolate ice cream.
Yeah, but isn't that the same?
racist?
But isn't that the same thing as being like, here's 4th of July cupcakes.
Oh, they also
here's Memorial Day. Here's Memorial Day platter.
I saw Everyman Jack, which now makes me think the meaning is something different. Everyman Jack is putting out a whole
it's red
line of
velvet
commemorative
flavor. Maybe they
Pride
just hate
Week,
the
Pride
flavor.
Month, like rainbow colored body wash.
Yeah,
you know, it's like that's what branding is.
Yeah. That's what branding. Like the Dodgers and the Giants are doing one game where they're wearing Pride hats, and you can see like. It's a nice thing. One day
I love the memes where it's like June 1st. Every brand has some sort of rainbow involved, and then the second it goes away, it's all like 4th of July. Fuck the.
Reggie hit us up and said Juneteenth is the celebration of the end of slavery. Yeah. I'm not sure what you said. So
no, but that's what I said. It's a celebration for Black. So what I'm saying is. The celebration's not wrong because it is an actual, like, you know how sometimes people say Happy Memorial Day and it's like, well, it's really not Happy Memorial Day. Juneteenth is the end of something terrible. So
it's not bad to say that because I did say that in my countdown like a million times.
Happy Juneteenth. In fact, we didn't know about Juneteenth until 2 years ago.
It was.
My wife knew about it in the South, but on the East Coast, no one really knew about Juneteenth. But my point is, if there was some racist shit, didn't IKEA do some racist shit where they were like, hey. Last year on Juneteenth, IKEA fucking sold like chicken, something stereotypically racist. Look up IKEA.
Instead of
no, Spot. I'm being serious. Look up IKEA. IKEA did some racist shit. This is just ice
they had a
cream.
Juneteenth menu.
They had a Juneteenth menu that was racist.
Southern IKEA. This is great. Southern
it's
IKEA.
Not great. It's awful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Southern IKEA. Created, read this headline. Created Juneteenth menu with watermelon and fried chicken.
That's just dumb.
Let me tell you.
That
two things that I adore.
Spot, can we talk about how
that's just dumb?
No. What I'm trying to get at is
things
we don't differentiate wrong and right sometimes. Like IKEA, wrong. Walmart, ice cream, celebrate. What's wrong?
I didn't know they used to feed slaves watermelon during the slave time.
How do you not know that?
I didn't.
Where did you think the terrible stereotype came from?
I just thought that was like a Southern thing.
No, it was a slave reference, which is why black people don't like that reference.
I love watermelon.
Everyone likes watermelon, and everyone likes chicken. Spot.
I like seedless though.
Nobody hates watermelon.
Seedless.
Wow. So anyway, that's why we don't focus on the news. The news is terrible.
You want us to, but my point is, there's so many stories in the news that I want to keep a complete open mind, but sometimes I can't bring myself to get it. The Josh Donaldson is a racist. Don't get it. Juneteenth ice cream is like wrong. I don't get it. And John Mulaney bringing out Dave Chappelle.
You know what it comes down to? Rich? Anytime racism or gaysism is even like speculated upon, like it's wrong. Like, don't even bring it up.
Yeah, but if Walmart and Great Value, the brand, made an ice cream, a Juneteenth celebratory ice cream. And I'm being serious. If that is now a holiday, how is that any different than when I went to Home Goods yesterday and bought a summer sign and bought a summer sign and some 4th of July Memorial Day decorations?
It is a money grab. It is.
But every holiday's a money grab.
But every holiday is.
It's a holiday now. It's a money grab.
But is it wrong? Is the question?
Everything a money grab? Is it racist? Now? Weddings are a money grab.
You're like, I mean, so
your friends are a money grab.
It's a national holiday. It's a money grab now. Sorry to let you know. If it's a holiday,
that's what you get. No,
it's been up. I got some new decorations.
Oh, you got more?
Yeah, it's been upgraded.
Don't overdo it.
Hold on.
It's good to overdo. It's good to overdo.
The Fan Controlled Nerd Show wants to see the updates. They want to see your decor. What
do you mean?
The Fan Controlled Nerd Show?
Yeah, go take a photo.
Oh, the Fan Controlled Nerd Show?
Yeah, they want to see the update.
Yeah.
I'll
take a picture for the fan.
I'm getting more feedback here on my nerd tablet. The Fan Controlled Nerd Show?
That's a notebook.
No, it's a tablet.
Turn it around.
Theater of Mind. All right, fine. But Andrew Spot.
That's a paper notebook.
Andrew said he wanted to hear us talk about bunnies. No more sports talk, bunnies. So I actually want something. I want you to do something just because I want to actually ask you a question. It'll take 4 minutes. Bunnies. Because no one wants to hear us talk about sports.
What am I doing?
What?
What did you say? What am I doing?
I sent you an email.
Oh.
While Rich goes and takes his picture. Welcome to, not Covino and Rich, the fan-controlled nerd show, TFCNS, where we don't talk about sports and things that we like. We cater to what you want to talk about. Andrew chimed in and said bunnies, and here we go. Actually, it's perfect because...
Can we talk about Bad Bunny?
No. I want to ask you, play this video. What would you do if this happened to you?
Hold on. I'm going to pull it up.
TFCNS, the fan-controlled. We should probably do this anyway. It's kind of fun.
All right, here comes
You give us a topic.
We have 7 little bunnies scattered all over our backyard. They are the cutest little things ever. They don't even look nearly as cute in this video. They're so little, and they don't move. They think you can't see them. I want to take one in. They're so cute. They're literally everywhere. You can't even walk on our lawn because I'm afraid that we're going to step on them because they don't even move. They don't even run away from Danny's lawnmower. Aren't they adorbs? There's 2. I got to find the other ones.
Now, that's my sister Jen, right? Who didn't expect me to play this.
I thought it was a social
radio.
media video, and I was scared. I was waiting for the bunnies to jump up.
No.
That's all right. Okay.
Pull up the picture spot. My sister Jen has a whole family of baby bunnies. It's that time of year, I guess.
I told you.
Is it?
You saw it yesterday.
You have a bunny issue. But if they're so little and they're not moving in the lawn.
He's so little.
What are you supposed to do about that? Like, you can't mow the lawn, right? Because look how little they are.
Oh,
they
cute.
think that you can't see them and they don't move.
Look at that eye.
And if you Google it, it says, you're not supposed to deal with them. If they're old enough to hop and jump and be bunnies and do bunny things, then you're supposed to leave them alone. Like, you're not supposed to hey, where'd the mom go?
Well, you saw Bunny run in my garage yesterday.
Yeah. Like, what do you
There was a baby little bunny
What do you do?
I walked out when we're done with the show. A lot of times I'll walk with Covino or Spot to their car, chit-chatting. And as we walked outside, I was like, oh, because all of a sudden, a tiny little bunny went.
You're going to have to tell your gardener because I don't think they give a
Minshew?
No, not Gardner Minshew. Ruben.
Oh.
If someone's just mowing the lawns,
your gardener's name was
and they're not
Minshew.
aware that there's all these little baby bunnies scattered around your property, what happens to those little baby bunnies when they think they're hiding?
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
I don't know. So
I have
the
a bunny.
fan-controlled
I have a bunny problem.
show.
In fact, I bet you
wanted a discussion on bunnies. I'm like, perfect.
Did he
I'll
get
bring
stuck?
that up.
Let's see if my thought is right. At any given point, if I look out the side of my house, out this window,
There'd be a bunny
there's
there, right?
Let's see.
How do you handle it? Like, you think they're the cutest things, but there's things that go along with having bunnies everywhere that you don't think about. You got little bunny turds everywhere. They're eating Rich's
Sons of bitches.
his garden. They're eating his carrots. They're pulling from underneath. Rich is going to pick his carrots and they're pulling them out.
Yeah.
What's up, Dak?
Yeah.
What's up, Rich? Rich is going to pull, and what do you do? And now my sister's like, I don't know what to do because they're not moving.
Well, I think.
And they're supposed to mow the lawn, and I don't know. Google it.
Honestly, pick them up and put them in a little cage and bring them to the pet store or something. I don't know.
You're wild bunnies. You don't sell wild rabbits like that.
No.
Wabbits.
Wabbits.
So is it wabbit season? It's wabbit season.
Well, I thought they start having babies in spring.
Well, whatever it is, there's little bunnies.
I mean, technically
everywhere. In fact, I think they live in my garage. So when we do make the gal garage, they're gonna be sad because they're not gonna have a house anymore. Because there's a little pipe. I noticed that there's a pipe. Like an open pipe, like something Andy Dufresne climbed through in Shawshank. There's a little one that I think leads to under my house, and I'm like, well, that makes sense because, they live under my house. I think they go in the garage once in a while, and I'll find little droppings. It's not mice. I remember I thought I had a couple.
Bunnies.
I think I had a couple. Yeah. So I just have.
You're a junction for the underground bunny tracks.
Doo-doo caca finger Rich thought they were goobers. Picked one up.
Yeah, I ate them. Yeah.
The underground bunny railroad.
No, the bunnies are gonna be mad when we redo the garage. Bummer.
My sister Jen says she has well over 7 just chilling there in their backyard, and they're not moving. You got to be careful.
They're gonna have.
You know what she's scared of too?
now.
When they don't move and they're that little,
Yeah.
she's scared that the kids are going to go out and play and step on one. Did I ever tell you the story where my mom did something like that?
Rich, you ever skinned or has your sister ever skinned a rabbit?
No, but I will say I was walking down the street the other day, and I had to like jump and misstep because I was like a lizard walked right, and I was just walking normal, and I did a little like whoa because I was like I would have just smushed this fucking lizard.
How bad you're gonna feel if you step on a bunny and break its little bunny neck.
Oh, it's a little bunny
little
neck.
bunny foo.
I feel bad when I
even though
hopping,
the badass
hopping through the forest.
Yeah, and Rich, and here comes Rich, and this goon
Smack him on his head.
killed this bunny.
goon.
Well, that's how the bunny foo story goes, right? I'm gonna turn you into a goon. Anyway, my mom one time, I was 9, but I remember this clearly. Me and my Uncle Joe, we were playing. We found a little frog. We were in Florida. Like the only family vacation I ever went on. And I went on 2. This was one of them. 9 years old, me and my Uncle Joe found a frog and realized we're in Florida. It's not like we were finding frogs where we grew up.
Of course.
Probably the first frog I ever found. And I was super stoked. Oh my God, we found a frog.
Whoa.
That's not true. There was frogs in the swamp, but there was a different kind of frog. And we were so stoked that we found a frog. We were playing with, it loves us. Look at, it's the frog. Right? I went, Mom, look, a frog. And it jumped and she went, ah! And she did her mom like, oh my God. She stepped on the frog, dude. Oh. And I was like, and the frog was like, and we were like, yeah, dude, me and my Uncle Joe, I think we both cried. We're like, frog, yeah. Look what you did. What did you do? All these years later, I haven't forgave her. But you imagine you step on a little, like stepping on a frog, stepping on a lizard.
Didn't you step on a lizard recently? Like a couple years that you felt bad?
Yeah. Well, Jordan did on our Hawaii vacation. She crushed one.
Remember you used to step
and
on
I stepped on one.
You used to step on snails all the time?
Yeah. I feel, then you feel bad.
Okay, so imagine how you feel doing that. You're like, oh. You just imagine stepping on a bunny when they're that little.
Imagine if a
you're
giant
gonna step on.
Stepped on your house.
Imagine if a giant just came here and just stepped on your roof.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be upset?
Yeah.
Like fuck.
Gross. I know.
So anyway, bunny foo-foos, there you go. I'm trying to deliver. People don't like some of the stuff we bring up, so
shut up.
Just trying to bring it up. I like the fan-controlled. We'll call it the fan-controlled radio network.
Sometimes you're a little bitch about that.
Oh, I think it's great.
Do your thing.
It's called the bit spot.
Do you?
It's called the bit.
No, it's not, because then it gets eye rolly.
I think you're eye rolly.
I am.
Yeah. So
I'm also
anyway,
gut rolly.
Good one.
Thanks.
Sports.
Did someone tell you to tell that bad joke?
And the fan controls. Sports, entertainment, life, and
By the way,
bunnies.
I think to give an update, because a couple people have asked today. I don't know why. Today of all days. The cool sculpting, I think, is doing something. I think I noticed. So when you from the side view, right? You have like a little. I have like a little
flap,
lower belly, like goo, whatever. It's kind of it's like evening out a bit.
Oh, so you're getting less.
It's eroding a bit.
The pouch is eroding.
It's less of a. I mean, I still have it. I still have very loose skin. It's still.
Do you have more of a
bulbous,
pouch or a pooch?
But I like, it kind of smooths down more. It's less of an arch or an arc. Is it an arch? Arc or an arch? Less of a curve, more of a smooth kind of way down.
Hey, look at that. Good for you, Spot.
Buddy.
Hey, good for you,
Spot's
buddy boy.
Great.
And I think my back fat is slowly reducing, or my butt's getting bigger because I see more of like a at my upper back.
Man, you really missed out on 20 years of.
I fucking could have been fucking slaying it.
Could have been like Derek Poundstone.
Yeah, but you know what it really would have been, Spot? I want you to think once in a while about how much ass you missed out on. Because that's really what it comes down to.
My dick would have fallen.
Doesn't matter. Like honestly, your friends loved you the same. In fact, we probably loved you more.
Why? Because I didn't steal women from you?
No, because you were just a kinder guy. But
I think it's maybe the man I am today.
But I'm saying I think that the only real downside of you not being ripped back in the day is honestly probably all the ass you passed on.
That does suck.
It really
Have
does.
fun thinking about that tonight.
And like I had so much.
Like every time there was a party or an event,
I had so
and you
much-
could have went
I
home
had
with someone, but
access-
instead you didn't.
I had access to such prime real estate to say that and even back then, chubby Spot still attracted attention. So imagine if I was ripped Spot back then.
Damn,
fuck.
But he blew it. And think of all the work you had to do to get to this. It would have been easy. You wouldn't
It would
even
have been so much
your
easier.
body frame would have just even been better.
Yeah, I would have, because I would have set the groundwork and then.
Yeah. Hey, what are you gonna do, bud? What are you gonna do,
man?
Oh, Spot. I send you the pictures of my little holiday editions.
Oh,
my little decoration, since it's a fan controlled network.
Yeah. Someone said, let's see the decor. So let's do
Just
it.
got a couple things at Home Goods yesterday. I love Home Goods. I'm like a woman there.
By the way, I'm saying the fan-controlled sort of thing too.
I know.
I don't know if people realize this. There's a fan-controlled football league.
Meaning I'm the only dude there.
Where the fans call the plays on the football field.
I never heard about that in my life. Honestly, if we never interviewed Mike Tyson about it years ago, I've never heard one person mention it.
Charlie Arnold covers it for ESPN now. It's a bigger thing.
I've never heard, and I thought the USFL folded again because I haven't heard one person mention the USFL.
The fan-controlled football club is actually
but no one talks about it.
Growing, kind of, from what I understand. I'm not into it at all, but the fans control the plays. It's an interactive football game. They play coach. So that's my spin on the show. That's how people want things nowadays. They don't want us to talk about what we want to talk about. They want to hear what they want to talk about.
Man, fan-controlled football, huh?
Fan-controlled football. It's a real thing.
I'm looking at it.
And Mike Tyson was an owner. That's right. You guys were at my house talking about it. We had that clandestine conversation about it. You know who's in it?
Who?
Isn't it Johnny Manziel, an owner? I think he's an owner and player.
Maybe so.
Could be wrong, but I see highlights all the time.
Well,
I read highlights all the time.
Everyone have a great Tuesday.
Hold on, I have a shout out.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Rashawn and Kyle and Lisa. Everybody hanging out with us on the daily. All the Carls. There was a Canadian holiday yesterday. What Canadian holiday was it?
May 10th.
Happy May 10th, Canadians. Ian Kennedy said yesterday was a holiday. I'm like, what holiday did we miss? Either way, happy holidays to all our Canadians. Remember, Memorial Day is coming up soon.
Let me say 23 in Spanish again. 23. Yeah, 20. That's right.
23.
23 de mayo.
Shout out to all the people on Discord and Datcord. Anyone subscribing to our show, we appreciate you. Thanks again for following us on Patreon and checking out our podcast at foxsportsradio.com. We're currently working on a new Friday sort of podcast, trying to rebrand what we do on Fridays.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Where we welcome guests. So stay tuned to that. Got more Behind the Velvet Ropes coming soon on our Patreon. In the meantime, like we said, we have classic CNR moments on our Plus tiers. John C. Reilly recently. An interview that you've never seen before. You can check that out. And shout out to Pedro Scheib. Pedro Scheib and all the Pedros hanging out with us on the daily. Appreciate you guys very much.
Nice. Well, have a great Tuesday. Until tomorrow. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Oh, I was going to show pictures of your house.
He forgot. P-Brain forgot already.
You're already saying goodbye. Let me just show the pictures, and then you can say goodbye again.
Yeah.
Because you promised it, and I know people want to see it. I got to shrink it down. Here's the table.
I need to get a new flower in the middle that matches that, but I got to figure out what to get. Maybe like white flowers.
Like carnations.
Yeah, like white flowers, yeah.
Carnations.
Why you got to be racist?
Yeah. And then this is...
I just got these 3 stars. I thought these were a good little...
Oh, like us?
Yeah, I think I got that. Just a nice little Memorial Day, 4th of July
cute.
summary, like
sparkly.
Little sparkly. The Emmy will like those.
Yeah.
Emmy will like those.
Good job.
Yeah.
You know what? You did a good job because it's light accents. It's not overdone.
You think you're the white one?
Which one?
You think you're the white one in the middle?
Oh, the white star?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting on my baseball jersey. White star.
Which one do you want to be?
I'm a sad Vato clown, so I'd be blue.
And I'll be the red guy because I sunburned. I sunburned so hard in the summer.
No, I'm just feeling blue.
I'll be the red one.
I'm a sad Vato clown feeling blue.
Well, hey, have a good Tuesday. Enjoy. Until tomorrow.
Oh, by the way,
baby.
if there's anything else you want us to discuss, let us know.
What is it?
Fan-controlled radio network. Steve Covino and Rich Davis.
Happy National Brothers Day to Hulk Hogan and Jose Mencken. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.